out my back door every morning and do a herd count. Make sure nobody's limping.
My thing, like, okay,
We have 400 plus animals.
that is a temporary fence due to the living situation because not a permanent fence is not allowed. Yep, use KY, plain KY. But an actual, fence is not allowed because there is squatting going on and whatever's going on with that. How could you not know how many animals you have? Because temporary fences are pretty easy to bowl over. It doesn't even look like there's electric around them. I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
Well, in the pasture that she let those babies out when, they were halter training, as she turned them out in that pasture with the halters still on, she kind of laughed and said, "Well, I hope we got all the holes. We found all the holes in the fence. Ha ha ha." And oh, I'm sure we did. You don't know, and you don't even know how many horses
So
you
you wouldn't
have.
even know if any were missing. Yeah.
Exactly.
She's lucky she don't have to deal with the USDA.
Right?
Lord, if we have one wire broke on our no climb, just like if it's cut in two, oop, that's a write up.
And yeah, and exactly, Candy, the halters were way too big. And then Terry informed me today that the one witch horse got her halter off, and now I got to figure out how I'm going to get it back on when I go back down there in April.
Well, the other thing that I wondered about with those babies that she turned out in there, I don't know. I haven't been to her place, so I don't know for sure. But we have a lot of coyotes, and they can have some pretty big packs.
Mm-hmm.
Those foals were kind of little, and there may or may not get any kind of supplemental feed or hay. There wasn't a round bell in that big. I don't remember that there was a brown bell in that big one. I remember there were the golden gates
No, I
of the
don't do
post because the golden gates are so much more important. But she wouldn't even know if the coyotes got one or injured it because she's not even checking on them daily. She's not even home most of the time.
Let me see. You got a bone. You got your bone. I want to say something about those round bales. So, it was told, well, she's got really nice square bales now. She's not going to feed those round bales anymore. I saw personally. That's not a direct quote, but you all know what I'm talking about. And then not even a week later, back to them putting them nasty, moldy round bales in there. And then, well, some people can't get. Dude, I moved an hour south of where I lived in a very impoverished area. We are in the foothills of Appalachia. Like, it took me a hot minute because I won't feed my horses trash hay. I will not do it. But they're not the most convenient things in the world, but I found big squares that are stored indoors. That's what I put in my video. I'm not feeding my horses trash. If somebody who is a blue collar worker can go and find those it took a couple days. I moved here with 150 plus indoor stored, square bales anyway, the little ones. But if you put in a little bit of effort, you can find it. You might have to pay a little more for it. It costs us $200 every time 2 of those are delivered to the house. But you can find it. I don't care what state you're in. I don't care what state you're in.
Not what I want to do. What do I want to? Where is it? How do I put a background up when I'm a host? How do I do a green screen? Oh, Whoa, what did I do there? That's not, no, I don't need to be big. I was gonna show my hay that I feed my cows.
Normally, Ohio hay is cheap, but because I was buying in December instead of buying, or having a person set it back when it was made, I'm getting, bent over because you buy hay in the winter because you run out. Well, prices are jacked up. Normally, I can get hay a lot cheaper, but it's just a matter of that's what I'm paying per, and these are big 4 and 5 string squares. That's 2 4 and 5 string squares. They probably weigh, I guess, about 1,200 pounds a piece. So,
And you're new to an area and you know how hay people are.
well, and I have zero hay contacts here. I actually have to find a new square bale person because Pat and her husband that I buy my square bales from, Jeff is having a lot of health problems, and this year is probably their last year's, making square bales. But I've already got, somebody for that. I already figured it out. It's just,
Jules, how long did you get banned for? Is she still in here or did she poofers?
I think she's in here.
Around here, our coastal square round bales is $50 for our cow hay and then $75 for our horse hay.
Hey, that was worth that 24-hour ban. That's all I got to say.
Mountain, I think I know who you are, and I'm not going to give up your identity, but I just want to say you're a rock star if you are that particular young lady that is just awesome. If you're still in the comment section, I think you're awesome.
Oh, I think this is the most people I've had in here than I've ever had in a live.
There's 69. I'm an adult. So you don't just manifest things. Like I mean, I believe in shit like that, but you need to put in the work, because if we didn't put in the work, we could have manifested all day.
Yeah, you have to be specific. It has to be horse quality. Now, and like Terry, we had a bad load come in. He's like, if you peel off the outside and I'll give you $5 off of it. And I looked at that hay and I said, absolutely not. I did peel it down. The core was good, but I'm like, no, you can't. And he knows now. So don't ever bring that to this farm. These horses are rescue horses that are, most of them are refeeding. Absolutely not. I don't ever want to see that trash on this farm again.
Yep.
The next load he brought was freaking awesome.
Yep. If I get screwed over more than once, but they got one time to make it right, I ain't using you no more. And I pay cash. You know what I mean? I pay cash for my hay.
Yeah, I mean, she writes them a check right then and there. Because, I mean, she has to have paper trail being corporation, so she has to write the check.
Absolutely, counting matters. Like, now we free feed as far as what's outside, and our horses are not stalled a lot. The only reason I stalled them tonight is because the wind here is wicked, and there is no way for me to run around on 100 acres and looking at fence in the dark with bad knees. It ain't happening. So they're in the barn tonight, because there was also a chance of it being wet and cold, not just snow, but some rain. But in their stalls right now, I've got giant hay bags. They have an entire 60-pound bale in each of their stalls. I don't care how much they eat. They can eat as much as they want.
Rounds are just so much cheaper to feed, though, in the long run.
They really are. And like right now, the big squares, now I have to say, these big squares are some of the best quality compared to the round bales. And I've gotten really nice round bales, but comparing this first cutting to first cutting rounds, and I just think it's the way they make the hay too. I would 100% feed these. They're a little less convenient because, like, we don't have an ATV here. We don't have a tractor, but you know what? No problem. Rue and I just have to buck up. We use a wheelbarrow, walk them all the way down to that big pasture. And then in our sacrifice pasture as well, we go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it's a pain, but it gets done. I'm sorry, but if two chunky middle-aged ladies can, do that without a tractor, she's fit. She should be fine. Maybe cut your numbers down.
All I had was my truck. The way our property was set up, it was cut out, but the hay barn that was on it where we cut the hay, I could back up to that. And me and my boys, who were, 12 at the time, we would roll a bale right onto my truck. You do what you have to do.
Now, see, mountain, because it varies area by area. I've been in Kentucky in February and it's been 70 degrees. It's been wonderful. But you pop just 5 hours to Ohio and it could be 30 freaking degrees.
Well, it can get like that in Michigan. I mean, and it's funny. It's the different lower Michigan to upper Michigan.
Yep.
And I lived up in upper Michigan for a summer, and it was cold during the summer. I'm like, it's July and I'm freezing.
Susan, my friend in here, she actually lives in not the UP, but definitely in northern Michigan, and it's crazy the difference because actually the last time I went to Michigan, Susan was my last stop and I drove straight home from northern Michigan. Just the weather difference from up here to the Ohio border, it's crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, just from Lansing to the Ohio border is completely different. And it's funny because, and I think it's because of the lake effect, east to west is a huge difference.
Yeah, you get Lake Michigan, which is wicked anyway. There is some crazy weather that comes off of that.
Yeah, I mean, and we were just 3 counties in, is where my husband's from, where, I lived there for, 5 years. And yeah, we got crazy. And then where I grew up, I mean, when I grew up, it was when we had the bad winters back in the early 70s and so, into the late 70s. By the time I could drive, I was driving around 70 degrees on Christmas. And when we all had to sell our snowmobiles. But yeah, I mean, we would jump off from, I'd go to school and it's taller than me. I'm hoping once he retires that we can spend summers up in Michigan and winters down here in Alabama.
Ohio's not so bad.
Yo, dog, you scratched. Where are you? I swear to God, if you got out and went around the front, I'm going to beat your butt.
Well, I mean, we can have all 4 seasons in one day here.
So refeeding syndrome. So the biggest thing, and it happens in multiple species, including humans. If you actually do research after the Holocaust, several people, passed away because it was studied, but not the way that it was now. And people were just hungry. They ate, they got sick, and they died. So what happens is when you're malnourished, your body's not used to taking in these rich, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, carbohydrates, whatever. So when you have an emaciated animal or a person, you have to start very slow, and it might seem cruel, but it's actually the best thing you can do for that animal or human. Because if not, the body gets overloaded. Not only will the organs shut down because they cannot handle that amount of nutrition at once because it's been deprived for so long, the body will also start eating muscle, which is already eaten away because they're emaciated, but the body will also start eating itself. It happens very quick. and it is generally deadly if you do not catch it right away. I wouldn't say it's 100% preventable, but it's probably 90%. That's just me throwing a number out there. 90% preventable without extenuating circumstances. If you go by or close to a refeeding program for whatever species, like, do you guys remember Patrick, the emaciated pit bull that they found in the trash chute?
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't start off by, here's a big bowl of dog food, my friend. They were literally taking popsicle sticks with very bland diet dog food and going, this is what you get. We'll see you in another 2 hours.
And if anybody noticed in the buckets of mash that she was feeding, there had to be a scoop and a half of feed. Now, those babies were only on an eighth of a scoop with like an eighth of a cup of corn and an eighth of a cup of oats. She was feeding what you would feed a full size at weight horse, and that probably didn't help either.
But see, Lesby, before we got kicked off of Jules Live, we were told that we should watch the whole video because we're wrong, but we did watch the whole video. And when Dawn tried to blame it on other things, the vet said nothing. When she said, was it the mash? Then the vet started talking. Mm-hmm. And you've seen it as well, yes. The thing about the dying baby's mouth, if you have an animal that can not hold itself sternal, that is, on their belly, sitting up, if that animal is cold, there is a reason in any species you do not feed baby animals, neonates, when they are cold. This goes for possums, horses, primates, literally anything. Their digestive system can't digest. And her just shoving things in that foal's mouth did not do him any favors as well. That's why, like, if you get a baby squirrel or a possum or rat pups or, little things, yep, you stick them in your bra because it's not only comforting, it's warm. You can get them up to temp faster. Babies cannot hold their body temperature the way, and this is even in healthy animals.
I don't know if she's still in here or not.
But babies cannot hold their body temperature the same that like a teenaged animal might be able to. And obviously when emaciation is involved, they more than cannot. There's that dog.
That dog.
That dog. But the more weight that they are missing, the more fat and muscle at this point, because those babies were truly emaciated. They can't keep an internal body temperature up to digest the food either.
Oh, I just figured it out. How about that? Well, I get to play. And what a lot of people don't understand is your organs also have to have a certain amount of fat on them. And that's what you have to work on first. Fat and hydration. You got to get both those guts hydrated or they're not going to absorb either.
Look, though, I'm not a skinny woman. We all know this. When I had food poisoning so bad I had to be hospitalized while I had lost weight because I was not keeping in the nutrients, what is the first thing they generally do even in a human hospital? Lactated Ringer's solution, because you need your electrolytes and your fluid built back up so that everything, functions properly as it should. It's fluids. But, hi, Locust. What do you want? Come here. Come here, baby. So yes, you can feed senior feed for fat. Senior feed is very easy to digest, but I have a hard time believing that it was balanced properly etc. Yep, fluids and warmth. And by warmth, I don't mean putting an animal in the back of a car. Look at this.
And that's why Terry started them on the Neutrina Senior, because it is a high fat content, and it's an all around type feed, and it's very easily digestible.
Lactated Ringers has a certain amount of electrolytes in it already. Not an excessive amount, but lactated Ringers already replaces some of that.
Now, I haven't looked to see if the Neutrina has the probiotics and prebiotics. What she uses for a senior feed at the farm has the probiotics and prebiotics. So when they came into the farm, I started them back down. I dropped, even though they had already been moved up. Because we were switching feed, obviously.
Andy, it's the same stuff.
I started very, very small again, and we slowly built them back up.
No.
Nope. Don't do Zeebs.
That one's really cute though, but I can see its angry eyes. It smells my fear. Marin full with hay and hydration. I mean, it can, but you still need to start very, very slow. And generally, grain's the last thing you add. You start with good forage and water after you have rehydrated them. You know, usually in foals that bad, they're gonna hook them up the fluids. Oh no, you're good. Sorry about that, Katie. Not everybody.
You have to also, when you're figuring this out, like those foals were on hay. They had grass. They had been eating grass. They had been eating hay, and they were getting fodder. So they were getting daily. They were getting fodder. So they were getting basically spring grass is what you would call fodder. And that was one of the things that the vet said to Kathy, is that was probably the only thing that was keeping those horses where they needed to be and keeping their digestive system going, was because of the fodder. Because you have the hydration, you have the good fibers, you have the good sugars, you have the good proteins, because fodder has 26% protein in it. So that's what I'm saying. And then she took them and she put them, they're already received this day. So that's what you take into consideration when you go to start them on a grain. And then she backtracked and completely went into something else and shocked their systems and gave them diarrhea, and they dehydrated and shut down. That's what happened.
Also, what was the quality of hay Kathy was putting out for the herd? I'm assuming it was. Terry went out
and looked at it and approved it. Okay. I mean, you can see it. There's a couple of pictures of it, and it looks to be very high quality from what I've seen. Okay. But no, Terry checked it out. It's what the racehorses get. So
you've also got the change from a good quality hay to literally cow hay, and
you're looking at the difference in bacteria. You're going from here down to there. There's completely different bacterias, and then you're feeding them also molds that they're not used to. They haven't been introduced to. So it was a complete shock to their immune system all the way around.
Well, and their bodies were stressed trying to generate heat in the cold, because she didn't have blankets for a while.
Remember?
And she had them next to God knows what, horses and donkeys that had God knows what.
So also, when I had that big live where there were like 1,000 people in here, all those people going, Dawn's trailer is a closed stock. No, it's not. It is an open stock trailer. Those babies were hauled without blankets in cold weather with open slats of an open
hers is just
trailer.
That one's the same as what I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her followers were saying that it is a closed trailer.
It's not.
Trailer.
No, it's not closed.
Those horses were hauled in that cold weather, stressed out, no mother,
in the dark,
with open slats on a trailer that somebody could have taken 5 minutes to even duct tape the shit out of some cardboard
Right.
to cover those slats. I'm sorry.
And you know, and she said she had a warm barn that they would be in stalls, and or she wouldn't have been able to take them because when Terry saw the unloading and where maybe they're just being held there just to unload. They're unloading there and then they'll be moved. And
Okay, so
yeah.
they got lice from Dawn's. How do you not know
No,
your
not no 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 no
No?
no 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 no
Are you
no.
sure?
We have one that had lice. Some
Okay.
of them do have lice. No, I'm not saying that they didn't get lice from there, but
Okay.
the
Okay.
one we
Then
had one with it.
okay, lice in general. How do you not know, because she's always touching all over them, that they don't have lice? Because I don't have fingernails, right? This is the general length of my fingernails. They're dirty, but it is what it is. We bought a stallion once.
Mel, I'll answer you when she's done.
When we were scratching him, making friends, scratching this stallion, I was like, oh, what's in my... It was bugs. It was lice. Because the chewing lice that are on horses, donkeys, and mules and such, they're not small. They're not hard to see.
They're like small tick size.
They're
or human crab size if you, yeah. Okay, so Mel, to answer your question, one, Terry doesn't have control of doing that because they had commissioned Terry to put the horses under contract with the new homes. And this is what people don't understand. And we get it all the time of, well, they didn't sign the horses. No, they were contracted, commissioned, just like you would take them to an auction. The auction, you're consigning, or you take them to a consigner. So because, you want to make sure the homes are being vetted so they're not going to end up in a worse situation that they already are in, or the same situation. So she is only in charge of the contracts and then keeping track of the horses for the rest of their lives, or, whoever takes over arm when she retires, that then they will become, so that way the horses are kept a hold of so they won't go back into a bad situation. However, when it comes by theft by deception, it's a property issue, and horses are property. So even if they were charged with theft by deception, that doesn't mean the horses would come back, and it would have to be Christoph that did it. However, she had Christoph sign that paper, though we all know that, he's a sly dog, but he's still got a screw loose. And they're calling him all these names. So, but yet you think that's going to hold up in court. It's a process, and I'm not saying that Christoph isn't already in the process of doing something. I don't know, but it may be a possibility.
I would, he would, or I wouldn't be surprised. But the other interesting thing is that the day after she got that second load after the first, she was on a live and she was showing that contract again. And she said that she would go live that afternoon and spill all the tea about the whole situation. But she was going to see her attorney first and have him look over that agreement. And she came back that afternoon and said, well, no, I'll have to get into that later. Some things have come up. I can't really get into it. Yeah, the thing that came up was her attorney.
She can't afford it.
Well, no, because I don't believe it's a legally binding contract.
It's not a legally binding contract, and she can't even afford to get somebody to write something.
And he's got three. He's got three, and there's one that nobody even knows about or who he is. I don't know. I wish him the best. I wish that, I hope maybe this has opened his eyes and that he will get the horses back to what they used to be years ago when he, first got into it. Of course, that mandible thing is never going to change. But I mean, he's going to be monitored, and he knows he's going to be monitored now. And I don't believe he has the. It's not that I don't think he has the funds to leave if he so chose. I don't think he has any place. Nobody is. He's too well known now, and I don't think anybody would allow them.
Well, his health is not good either.
No, and he knows his horses are safe with Kathy and Michael.
Bridget, she may be worth $9 million, but she's had 3 fucking bankruptcies, and there's a whole mess of stuff.
She has a debt of $100,000 that she's still paying up. I don't know how she's worth $9 million.
It might be some of her assets that she was not forced to, you know what I mean, sell.
Well, they can't force you to sell your vehicle, your only vehicle, and they can't force you to sell your home.
But some of that might also be tied up because she was, because I don't know what she gets as far as royalties from Yellowstone in 1883. But even though most of them, because she was a minor character, but she was still a character that was somewhat reoccurring for a minute, she might get a percentage of royalties from those. So they might just, okay, well, there's this much out there, divide it by this.
Probably not, because her part was so small, and there's plenty of people out there that would do that without the royalty. So
my favorite part in 1883 is when she shut herself up, actually. Rue literally, because this was before all of this. We watched 1883 ages ago. So
yeah, I hated her character.
So
hated her.
You know how she ends herself? Yeah. Rue goes, "Thank fuck, she finally shut up." And but that's not why I don't like her. That's
what's going to happen with which horses, Candy?
Hopefully somebody gets them other than Dawn, but she has no interest in anything. It upsets me because she could have saved twice as many horses with less stress and a few more trailer rides. Not that I would like more horses in her, hands, but she could have pulled out twice as many horses.
She was the stuck-up sister.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she was.
The one that slapped the main character. Sister-in-law. She wasn't a sister. She was a sister-in-law.
It said also, if you look up Raleigh Link, it says she's worth $1 million, and she's definitely not.
Well, and nobody knows everybody's style. I mean, because nobody knows their own person. I mean,
no, that ain't what I wanted. There we go.
Yes.
I do too, Mountain. I do too. She made about half a dozen videos about me being fat.
Well, I mean, she's infatuated with me. She's making me famous, but I don't know how social media works. I'm all over your page, sweetie, aren't I? Well, she's not even paper rich. If you look at her bankruptcies and her tax liens, and she's still in the process of paying.
I know it's really dark out here. It's because that street light don't work anymore. I don't know how that happened.
What's Riley Link? Riley Link, she is awesome. She's a YouTube equestrian.
She's not awesome. Hell no, she's not awesome. She's a horrible human being. She thought it was funny. Her followers were telling me to unalive myself, said I faked my knee injuries, and said I'm too fat for my horse.
Riley Link did?
Yes, she did. Her and I got into it. That's one of the reasons she left TikTok, because she tangled with the wrong...
I didn't even know she was on TikTok. Are we talking about the YouTube person?
Yes, you are.
Yep.
She is not a nice person. She is awful.
Well,
That's actually how
I
I
used
found
her when we went
Lucy.
after Max Bishop, and she was fabulous at it.
I mean, she's a pit bull, but she is not a nice person. She accused me of abusing my horses because I'm heavy set, all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, she's on that 15-20% rule, which is bullcrap.
Yeah, she said I lied about being an RVT. She made fun of me for my traumatic brain injury, said that I was having a psychotic break because I was crying on a live while her and little lackeys were telling me to go KMS. All sorts of shit. It was bad.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good thing I wasn't around for that. I would have tore her apart.
It was really bad. She came after several people. It was really, really bad.
Let's sick her after dawn.
Honestly, I don't like Dawn or the other one, but even though I know she is a pit bull and she will smear them through the mud,
All donations have stopped for who? For which ones?
she went to the auction the other day, Bridget, and got $4,000 in donations. Actually, I think $4,800. I could be wrong, but when she was at Bowie the other day, I'm pretty sure Wes and Bree and them might know this. She got over $4,000 in donations to pull more horses.
Yes, she does. She posts her own video. Well, she did when she was younger. I don't know if she still does. Yeah. Nobody knows. I mean, we don't even know where.
Yeah, she's bringing more horses and keeping them at the vet clinic as overflow
Thank
because
you, Candy. I have no idea what which video and stuff, but thank you.
Hola. Como esta?
I'm
all the donations to who? To Dawn has stopped? Is that what you're saying, Cassie said?
So no, she posts from Bowie on Instagram and keeps track of how much money she's getting. She got, I think it was $4,800 just the other day to pull horses, and she took some of them to Cam's clinic right after.
Yeah. Well, and you can ask the fake Vanessa down there. I always stand up against bullies.
There is nothing fake about Vanessa, except maybe her hair color.
No, you're fake, Vanessa, because you're on Vanessa's.
Okay, so I watched TT's live the other day because I had questions. She had some not so nice things to say about one of the pages that I was following, and I had to call Rusty and get, because I was really concerned. But anyways, she said that all the donations have stopped now. Nobody's even sending any donations anymore because of all the crap that's going on TikTok, probably, but she wasn't sure. But that nobody was sending to the PayPal or the personal links anymore. So she was having to pay for all of the stuff for the horses now out of her own pocket.
Nope.
That's why you never take in more than which you can handle on your own, because donations aren't always guaranteed. And
yeah, that's BS. She just started a new one recently. So
yeah, I mean, and when you do get the donations, you put half back. You only use half of them. You put half back for the feeding and the bedding and everything. But no, she doesn't do that. She spends it all to get all these horses, but doesn't consider the vetting and the feeding and everything.
But she's manifesting it all.
Yeah, where are all these
she
people
just started
when I'm trying to get a youth team to World?
You got to have dying foals with you.
She raised Bridget, and I only know this because she was live when she did it, because she goes live when she's at Bowie. She raised over $4,000 to pull more horses, and they're at Cam's.
She has about 4 or 5 different different fundraisers going on right now on her Instagram, all for different things. The ones that have gotten the most money are the ones for her to go buy horses.
Hey, question. The last Bowie auction, is that the one where she said, "Oh, Cam doesn't even know I'm coming with these"?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a freaking high-end equine sports medicine vet. Like, there are a lot of high-end reiners, cow horses, pleasure horses, like lots of show horses coming in and out of here, and she's just showing up with random crap.
Yeah, let some strangles or something come through.
And then she's messing with other people's horses that are in there because she's got the key or the code or whatever it is to go in and out. And then she's filming other people's horses. Yeah,
like
she's running amok in there.
Here, this is what's here, and no, there's nobody here monitoring it. So
$100,000 horses.
I know.
She's going to Bowie and then going immediately there after touching all the horses at Bowie and then touching all the horses at the vet.
Oh,
Maureen,
God.
are you blocked from TT's page?
I have her blocked.
Okay.
So that she can't play the game of unblocking and reblocking.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's what she did with me over my dog.
Yeah, I don't play her games. I mean, because that first live, the first time I met y'all, and with her being in there, she immediately blocked me after that live. And then when I finally went live, she unblocked me. I mean, I didn't even look at her page. To this day, I still don't think I've ever looked at her page because I don't care. Well, I may have, no, because I blocked her all from here. I don't think I went to her page to block her. So, I mean, if it's not for people tearing, and I appreciate everybody that does and shares the things with me, I wouldn't know what the hell she was saying.
That's interesting because she does have a lot to say about not you in particular, but the place that you're volunteering your time at.
No, yeah, both. I mean, and that's just, but it's all old news and it's already, I mean, if you've been friends with her, it's all on Arm's page already anyways. Terry owns up to everything that happens there, even if she is not physically there or the one currently, even when there's another board member in charge, she still takes the responsibility.
That's what I can't understand about keyword is like you guys have been super open about it. A, B, it's already been prosecuted. Like it's already gone to court. Court has already rendered a judgment, and like this is already old news. It's 12 years ago.
It wasn't even court though. I mean, that's just it. Terry hasn't even, to this day, Terry still hasn't read that paperwork.
Yeah.
She just signed it because she was out traveling. She was running 2 businesses plus doing herds. The vice president was the one in charge. And if you actually, I finally read it a couple weeks ago. If you actually read it, the one that misappropriated the funds, because Terry was not asking for donations then. She personally was not asking for, she never asked for any donations during those years. She was paying out of pocket from her jobs or had the boarding facility was she was supporting it. So she had no idea that there was donations coming in,
Anna.
let alone that they were going to CJ's personal bank account. So, I mean, if you read it, it's CJ who has like 5 bank accounts. Terry had not anything to do with it. The only thing that Terry had anything really to do with the misappropriation was her putting money into it herself and her not invoicing, because the rescue was renting. Well, if the rescue didn't have the money that month to pay it, she didn't invoice it. She would only invoice it when there was money for it to pay it. And you can't do that. I mean, she didn't know that, you still have to do it. You still have to have a paper trail. So she got in trouble for that. And you're supposed to be registered in every state. This is how we all found out. The entire rescue world did not know that you had to be registered in every single state that you take donations in. So when Terry got popped, everybody ran, seeing where their donations were coming from, seeing if they were registered in that state, because that's not something the lawyers ever told her. She had a lawyer set it up. He said, you're all set. Yeah, I mean, And it was a corporate nonprofit lawyer that set it up for her.
How does she get copies of what's happened? Because she, on her
Because
live,
CJ, okay, so because CJ, and again, that's a whole different. CJ screwed her really bad, and I'm not going to go into it because that's their personal partnership in business. Had nothing to do with this. So CJ put a copy there. Plus, it's also, I think she put it on her page too. She posted it on the ARM page and explained it. But CJ posted that also on that truth page, whatever that thing is that I skimmed through and had to laugh at. So that's how it's posted over there. I
I'll
mean,
just give you a quick recap of what I actually heard and what I paid attention to in basic know some of it, but it was that there was no more donations coming in, that there
to
was
Dawn
more
or
donations stopped. They don't know why, what's going on, but donations stopped. She also said that there's a lot more happening that she cannot share because it's not out there yet, but that there will be no more horses on that property soon. That he did come up with some
Shaker.
money to pay $7,000, but that wasn't all the money that was owed. She was allowed on the property, and she was misunderstood, and so she didn't go there, and she stayed in that other person's cabin first because the lady that she was supposed to stay with said there wasn't any heat. It was only 46 degrees. She said, I didn't say you couldn't come here. So she said, can I come tomorrow morning then? The lady said yes. That was the same day she was going to fly out. She said she went, she looked at the feed, the horses looked good. Some of them looked better than others, but they were starting to look really well. But that she couldn't share with us what is in the works, but she was concerned about a video that was going around that had a state vet phone number on it. Go ahead, Rusty.
So, Bridget, you know how I found who made that video, and we all know it was Bobcat. She was letting Bobcat all up in her live earlier today like nothing happened.
Well, because I don't think she knows where it came from, because she was asking genuinely, if you guys can believe that. It was genuine. She wasn't shitting on anybody. She was simply saying, look, I got a phone call from it wasn't the state vet that called her. It was some animal person or something. And they said, please have whoever took that video take the state phone number down because we're worried that he's getting inundated with phone calls and he's gonna quit, and I really need a state vet, so we can't be having that phone number all over TikTok.
Okay, here's the thing though. They have a group on the book with all that on there. And it was Barb Lewis that put that whole list on there of who to call. And then
said Tassie shared that video on Facebook before it even became public.
it's all over Facebook. It has nothing to do with TikTok. It's all over Facebook. And later on, she commented to Barb and asked her, you need to take that out of there. And somebody screenshot it all disappeared, but somebody screenshotted that. So, I mean, I've never been to social media is when I'm bored and I have nothing else to do.
Yeah, I mean, she was genuinely asking if whoever originated it, because the video that was getting shared had that state vet phone number on it, and that state vet was getting a lot of phone calls, and whoever it was that called her, which I'm assuming was an animal control person or something, whoever she's working with to remove these horses, has literally called her and said, please find out who did it and take it down. That's why she was live. And then she did actually compliment Rusty. She wasn't putting Rusty down at all. She had some stuff to say about you, but I told her, it seemed like very childish, the back and forth stuff. So then she thought she should fill me in on some of the things that happened on ARM's page. Or in ARM's history, and I was concerned about some of that, but I realized it was a long time ago. But either way, Rusty squared it up with me, but she was just trying to figure out who the heck did that, and to ensure everybody that something is going to happen within the next couple of weeks, and nobody knows about it except for her and the lady on the property.
Well, Tassie's the one that first posted that video, and some of those pictures had not been released to the public before, yet Tassie did have copies of them, and I know she did. Several of us do. Tassie's the one that made that. And she
Oh, do
knows
you mean that
exactly the
video
other
with
person
Cindy
who put it.
Moon?
Huh?
You mean that video with Cindy Moon with all that the stuff from the group?
No, it's the
No.
video that actually shows, it says state vet and has his phone number, please call.
I believe it's the one where it states he's an illegal immigrant. He needs to be locked up in jails.
Well,
All
you
the
know, this
unalive.
is just it. I know people have turned him into ICE. I know people have called and turned him in. So if he is, then why isn't he here? I mean, why is he still here?
That was
I know he's been turned in.
that was never in any of the court documents at all. In all the interactions that he's had with law enforcement, that was never mentioned in any of those documents. And that Margaret, who is that Bobcat whatever, you know, she popped off on Facebook and said she talked to the district attorney and he told her.
Yes.
But the district attorney, I believe, is a female. Which is why I said to her, did you really talk to him? Are you sure? And she said, yes. I said, oh, we must have a new one then. And she never responded to me again.
Yeah, I had to stop over there. Terry's just like, just stop. And I'm like, no, because you know how I am. I don't tolerate bullying. And I'm going to state it as it is. You know, why are you even on the arm? If you're not there to, and this is what I told Terry, I said, you need to, just like these people going into a business, you are a business. This is a business page. And you need to, if you're not here to support them, boot them. Because they're not doing anything but causing havoc. You can't go into a public business and get all loud and nasty, or you're going to be taken out in cuffs and trespassed off. This is the same thing. It's still a business page. And that's why I told her, I said, you just need to start poofing these people, which she has never. I mean, Tassie is like the only person that has ever been blocked off from ARM. And it got quiet.
The only thing she said about ARM really that day was that she just felt like you guys shouldn't be pointing the finger to Dawn when that same stuff has happened at other rescues. That's what she was saying.
Terry has never called up anybody claiming that she's a vet, claiming that she knows how to take care of foals, that they're going to be in a warm barn with stalls. She's never lied about who she is, because she would have never got those animals that night if she wouldn't have said that. They would have not been, they took advantage of the situation of her driving, knowing that she wouldn't be able to start doing any applications until Tuesday, and they made up a story to come in. Terry has never, that's one thing I get, Terry does not lie.
Well, and also, I just want to say, and Bree and Claire know, in October, we raised concerns about Dawn's rescue. The fact that she didn't have shelter, the fact she didn't have fresh water, that she wasn't prepared, that she had brought in a bunch of babies already, and it seemed like too many for a new rescue. Tassie was on board with that. She said, yeah, maybe that's not a good choice.
She agreed.
Until that documentary was mentioned.
On that live, she agreed. She said, you guys think that I'm all about Dawn, and I'm not. I'm just wanting to try to stay on her good side to help her, but she said she didn't agree with the hay. She didn't agree with shoving the food. I'm not trying to stick up for her by any means, guys. Yeah. I'm just telling you that I don't know if she's having a second thought about this, but she did say, because, you know, I know that a lot of you have her blocked and whatever, and she didn't at all shit on Rusty, which I was surprised, which is why I was watching it. And she really didn't shit on anybody other than to say this same stuff has happened, but we need to make sure that the donations come in so that the horses can get the help they need. And if somebody would be nice to her, which is what she's doing, trying to get her to do it the right way.
She's
I
resistant. Dawn refuses to
Everyone has
listen.
tried. Everyone has tried to be nice to her, but Tassie has told her not to have contact with us because of because of how we've criticized her on this app. And at this point, the best option for those foals is for them not to be underneath Dawn's care anymore. If Dawn wants to do the right thing, she needs to realize this is over my head, which she has stated before in all of her lives, that she is outside of her means, both in terms of what she's able to provide and the knowledge that she has to take care of this situation. The right thing to do is to turn them over to somebody else. But we know that she's not willing to do that kind of thing because of this TV show that she wants, of the attention that she's getting. She couldn't even put the foals down when they were suffering and dying in her arms because it was just too good of a story.
I agree. I agree, Maureen, and I like how you're going about explaining all of that. We've been watching those, and that you the way you talk about it is amazing, and we definitely appreciate that because it's a great way to tell the story so that people get it from the get-go.
And I want to say that too. Those first 2 shipments of foals that she got from Christoph's, there were at least 15
too. This part upsets me. This part just fucking kills me. Shit. Let me see if I can think about that.
Okay, well, while you think about that,
yeah.
Bridget, do you know how this started with Tassie and Arm? Do you know?
No, I was under the impression that you guys all met. See, I came in too late. I was under the impression that you guys all met with the first whole Searle thing. And that you guys were all friends and working together, and then something happened, and that's why.
Okay, let Rusty, and then I will explain to you.
I remember, and I have said this before, but there are new people in here. My original video, I was not rude. I was kind, which is very hard for me because I don't articulate like Maureen does, because really, in all reality, I'd love to grab her up and be like, listen, like, what are you doing? Tassie and I were fine before that. We just agreed to disagree, and she came out of nowhere and said, why did you make that video without my permission? If you weren't Dawn's keeper, why are you saying that I need permission to address her in a very polite and knowledgeable manner if you are not her keeper? You know what I mean? Like, that makes zero sense to me. That is weird. First of all, and I told Bridget this, I don't ask my wife permission to do anything. I do what I want. I value my wife's opinion, but if I've got my heart set on doing something, my wife ain't even going to stop me, let alone some random person on the internet.
Okay, so
I don't understand why that turned me into the bad guy, because I watched some of the beginning of lives, you know, and I was like, yo, this is not it. And I think what the meanest thing I said was playing a cowboy or, you know, in a modern Western does not make you a horseman.
Which, as a modern cowboy, is true.
Okay. So, Terry went out to Arkansas, and I went up there and I was taking care of the farm when she was there. She came back on Saturday, and, you know, all the information's out there about the herd, blah, 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 blah. This is what, you know, she's doing, and all of a sudden on the ARM page, Tassie pops up. We have no clue who she is, none whatsoever. She pops up and starts giving out, I don't want to say private, but when you do rescues, you stay quiet. Dawn had already given out all the information, what kind of made us mad, but she was all over the ARM page. Oh, We finally got something done. We've been working on this for such and such time. She was all over the page like she was part of it. Terry has no clue who this woman is. And she's giving out inaccurate information, incorrect information, information that should not be released, and making it sound like she was part of the situation. Terry got a call. Terry went. She has no idea about the back group that I guess, that has been following him and investigating him. None of that was known. We just know all of a sudden there's this chick all over the page. And Terry finally said, we can't have this. We don't know who she is. People are asking her personal questions about what's going on with the rescue. And she's answering them. Terry doesn't even get a chance to answer people. And she finally blocked her. And you'll see there's TikToks that she made supporting arm. There's posts that she made supporting arm. And then because of her getting blocked, then she jumped on Dawn's bandwagon and then started viciously attacking Arm out of the blue. And then things were being said, and
thank you for coming in.
My girl down there, or over there, wherever she is next to me, or down, whatever, said, hey, Rusty is talking about this, so on and so forth. Won't you come to the TikTok? Because nobody knew that I was helping them, because it doesn't matter. I don't need the notoriety. And you got this woman out here spreading all this misinformation. And I came into that live, and Rusty pulled me up, and Tassie went batshit crazy on not only me, but the entire group, and just Energizer rabbited. You couldn't get a word in edgewise. She's like, your shitty stalls, your shit covered stalls. They were brand new stalls. Those were the first horses put in those stalls. She had, the stalls that were up were the metal ones, and they're from the 80s, and the bottoms rusted out. So, and they got to be, they had to be replaced. Those were brand new stalls. And she's like, Dawn hates Arm and all this. What the hell did Terry do? It was Dawn that lied to Terry, lied to Christoph, lied to Michael, lied to Kathy, lied to another person that was there that I'm not going to say their name because nobody knows about her. And I think a couple workers that were there too. So, and then we came out of the live after all the craziness of that, and she had me blocked on TikTok. And then I think I went live, 4 or 5 days later, 3 days later, whatever. She unblocks me to come into my TikTok and tried to start crap. And I blocked her. And she came in on another name. I blocked her. She came in on another name. I blocked her. She came in on a fourth name. I blocked her. Because I don't play that. You're going to block me. Oh, but now you're in something, so I'm going to come get in your face. I don't play those games.
That happened.
So that is how that all started. But what was being said was about Dawn. So why is Cassie jumping all over everybody? Somebody's recording. That's what that feedback means, which I don't care. Go ahead and record.
No, I don't think anybody's recording. I'm trying to get files off my phone while I'm on the live because I need to edit client video, and so it's making noise.
Okay. So that's where that all started. Arm had nothing against Tassie. It was, and we don't know. All you can figure is because she wants to be a part of it so bad, and she actually isn't. And the other women that were in that group with her, most of them are now
not with her.
Not with her. Couple of them are in this group right now. So
my thing is, I'll give Tassie this. She has some tenacity and some drive, but if she would have put it in the right places, we could have worked together and made a real difference for, not just you guys, any reputable rescue or private citizens that wanted to step in and be like, you know what, I got a barn, I got stalls, I don't have the facilities for ones that are rated a 1, but if we
Okay,
put some weight on them, I've got run-ins.
that's fine
We
with
could
Still
have.
Valley being here. I don't care. I don't have no issues with Tara. Because most of the misinformation that happened with Tara was Cassie.
I just,
I'll hope that no rescue is involved with whatever harebrained scheme Tassie's talking about that's going to happen in a couple of weeks.
Well, I know there's a couple things that are happening in a couple weeks. So I don't know which issue she's talking about.
May I ask a quick question?
Sure, Britt.
Okay. I heard someone was saying that, like, oh, all donations have stopped. Was that T or D saying that?
T said it about D.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
But and Bridget, I'm a straight shooter. I'll tell you, I know that's not true because she raised over $4,000 just the other day.
Right, but this live was a few days. It was the day before I questioned you about what she was saying about ARM.
Yeah.
Well, Bridget, Terry's phone number is there. You have any questions, just call Terry. She'll be more than happy to talk to you. That's just it. You have any questions, Terry's more than happy to talk to you. We've actually been trying to get her she opened a TikTok account, not that she knows what the hell she's doing with it, but I think there's like 15 more people and she can actually sit in a live. But since I came home, she can't get in a live.
I mean, for fuck's sake, let's be realistic. If I raised almost $5,000 to get people to go to the NBHA World Show, imagine what I could do if I was like, yo, this is a rescue that I really stand behind. I have 250,000 followers. Imagine if each of them donated $1. What we could do for a reputable rescue if I felt so inclined. And I don't know who Bobcat was, but I ended up blocking them and they got salty about it because I don't like to repeat myself and I don't like to talk in circles.
She's all over the ARM page. They're just shit stirrers. That's just it. You get all these people and it doesn't matter how many different ways you answer it the same way. They want to argue about it. They want to throw stuff up, and it's like,
that Bobcat accused me of not, speaking to legislators or any way, shape, or form because I'm not posting it on TikTok. If I do, I shit you not.
And you shouldn't. And you shouldn't, because if you do, then you're not going to get what you want, and that's what these people don't understand.
And
that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel bad because some of the things that are being said on TikTok are making it so that, I mean, anybody that was in that live that was watching today would never, ever support ARM now. If they did before, they won't now after the things that were said.
And that's not going to hurt ARM one bit.
Okay.
People do not understand. ARM has been doing this for over 20 years. Their donations and their donors is a huge base, and they're not people that are on the internet. Let's just put it that way. There's foundations that support her. I mean, Betty White, Bob Barker, of course, they're no longer, but they both supported her, and she does grants, and she has investment accounts, business investment accounts, stocks, bonds, so on. So she is running it's run as a corp. I can't say she because there's a whole board, but I mean, she is the main person, but there is a whole board involved. But she has set this rescue up that when she retires, whoever wants to take it over can come in and it's fully set. You don't have to do the work. And again, that's what a lot of people were screaming about on the taxes. Look at all this for office supplies. Well, it's not office supplies. It's business expenses. And the fundraiser program that she uses is their fees are taken out of it. Now, yes, you may only get 50% of it, but I would rather take 50% or 40% of a $455,000 than nothing at all. So, I mean, it's a well put together, run oil machine, and people on TikTok and Facebook. I mean, it's funny though. Every time Tassie would run her mouth, she would get a shitload of donations. So it was hurting her
That's
feelings.
another
one
thing
bit.
to bring up too. And like, if you don't do rescue, you're not familiar with it. But there is a very, very fine timeline where rescues have to strike while the iron's hot in getting those donations. Yes, there will be people along the way that come in and help and da-da-da-da. But
Sorry, Claire, I
like,
wasn't
those
paying
first
attention.
2 weeks are so crucial.
Yeah,
And
'cause
if
after 2
that
weeks,
gets
you don't want
burned,
anything.
Everything is nice.
if that gets burned in some bullshit, then everybody suffers.
Wes, is there a time you want me to call you at?
No, I'm gonna have a rain day tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's already raining, so just any time.
Okay, I have that thing tomorrow from 8 to 12.
Okay, yeah, anytime would be
7
fine.
to 12.
Okay, but
Oh,
in the
and Claire,
comments,
guys, off subject. Claire Rudolph is already adopted. So
Oh, okay, that's okay.
if you're still interested in Hale, I'm still working on trying to get you videos for that.
so real quick,
Okay,
I just
thank you
want
so much.
I want
Sorry,
to
I've been
address
super
something.
busy this week, guys. And then tonight I was at a roping and my horse went stupid, so love my
Okay.
life.
I want to address comments. However anybody feels about Tassie aside, she is not a rescue. That is her horse. Feeding
She
and
bought that
for
horse.
it. And, I mean, you can criticize how she's training or whatever, but in the big scheme of things, that has nothing to do, other than it's a great horse mill, in my opinion. But it has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. It's her horse. She got it. She gonna do what she wants with it. And even if you don't like her, she feeds vets, and her horses get farrier work. So,
Pin this page. Pin what page? I don't know how to pin anything.
And I'll agree with that. Every
Yeah.
horse that Tassie has, she owns. And they're not rescues. They're bought. She goes out of her way to purchase them, to transport them or pick them up and bring them back to her place, or where she boards. She is not a rescue, but I will agree her horses are very well cared for in the general sense of things. They get regular farrier care. They get regularly fed. They get regularly
this is
vetted.
apples to oranges. There's people here that do strictly R positive, and I do not. These same people know my filly bit me the other day, and she got popped in her mouth. Because I do not accept that in my barn. But they're not, using that to criticize me. And I don't
I would
think
have done the same thing.
apples to oranges is gonna, make a change in the big picture that's going on. I understand some of you don't agree she is experienced enough to have a stallion, and I'm inclined to agree. I've owned stallions, but the horse is taken care of. That you can't really, go digging into that. It's not part of the big picture.
I will agree with Alex, though. Alex said she takes amazing care of them, but her actions cause her the lack of respect. And I agree with that 100%.
I'll
She
agree
takes
with that.
phenomenal care
Yes,
for horses,
and
but
I
it's
do.
the way that she presents herself and comes off to others that has gained her the disrespect and the lack of respect.
Well, and I would like to talk to that because, I think she says she's doing it for the horses. It's all about the horses. She's not worried about, how Dawn's running her rescue and everything like that. All she cares about is the horses. Well, if you cared about the horses, you probably should have kept your mouth shut rather than commenting on Rusty's first video, because her commenting on that is what blew this whole entire thing up. Because as soon as she elbowed her way into a situation where if she had just not commented and let Rusty post her video and not said a thing, nobody would have gone digging into Dawn the way that we all have.
I did.
So if anyone's going to complain about all of us finding everything that we found out about Dawn and finding out what an awful rescue she's running, Tassie is the one to blame.
Well, and I completely agree with that. Now, I did dig into Dawn only because I had inside information with everything was going on. Now, none of that would have went out if it wasn't for her running her mouth. You
Well, and
know, nobody
also,
would have
I
known
will
about the
say,
lies.
I personally don't see any issue digging into Dawn. I mean, she took in emaciated horses that were on the brink of death, and vetting is necessary in those situations. You know, you want to make sure that those horses are in the best care, especially when they're so sick and emaciated like those foals are. It's important to vet people, and it's important to look into people and look into what their history entails and what their past has been and what kind of care they provide, where their financial situation is at, because that's the only way that we know if you are actually able to provide for those animals. I don't feel like there's a problem with vetting anyone.
Well, and here's the issue on this too is, you know, arms donors gave money. Now, under the agreement, Dawn said she would send in the paperwork. I mean, the application, which she never did. And then again, all of a sudden, Tassie's saying Dawn hates ARM. Well, why? Because nothing has been said about that until the fact that, you know, okay, so here ARM approved somebody to take horses, and within a week, they're dying. When they were not on death's door, and there was two homes, one being friends of Kathy, that were already pre-approved before Terry came home, and they were actually supposed to pick up those first 5 foals that left were actually supposed to go to them because they were 10 minutes down the road. And instead of, you know, well, she thought that, you know, Dawn said again, she was only an hour from there, when in turn it's 2 hours. You know, tit for tat, you know, maybe that makes a difference or it doesn't, or maybe she thought they were closer. I don't know. But those horses would have been 10 minutes away in barns with immediate veterinary care and staying on the same program. So, but Terry has to answer to her donors for allowing these people, you know, her, and then the farrier turned around and did the same thing to her. And you know, and I tell her if she ever lets another horse go without an application, in contract, I'm gonna smack her. So, yeah, she's got to answer to her donors for that. So that does hurt ARM. But in the end of the day, it shows Dawn's character and it shows that farrier's character.
It ain't worth it for Taylor Sheridan to get involved in it because he's selling horses worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It is beneath him. They ain't gonna do shit about Dawn.
And they don't care about horse rescue or slaughter. Usually those types of people are pro slaughter anyways.
Mm-hmm. And you know, a lot of people that deal in nothing against Arabians, Amy, you know how the world works when it comes to Arabians. They have a goofy stigma, which is silly, but this man deals in expensive stock horses. He could give 2 shits about some inbred emaciated Arabians.
Exactly.
That's way beneath him.
Yeah, Dawn's enough character so for him to care about that either. So
I'm sorry, you broke up, Maureen.
Life, the only way that anyone could turn around and come at anybody for defamation is if the information that we were saying was not true. But unfortunately, everything that's been said, everything that's been posted has factual evidence behind it. So there's no defamation there. It's all true.
She would also have to prove damages.
Maureen got broken up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just saying that Dawn didn't play a big enough role in his shows to cause that much of a hubbub for him anyway. So,
well, he didn't even know who she was on the red carpet.
Just a quick question before I gotta go to bed, but I got a question. Amy or somebody will answer. Isn't a vet or a farrier like a teacher or a mandated reporter? Wouldn't a vet be mandated to report her for not taking care of them so that she can't get any more?
I got this one.
Okay.
So, since she is paying for vet care, that automatically negates it. You don't have to report it because they are making an effort to try and fix the horse.
But not until after the fact.
Cyril got around everything.
Yep.
That's how Cyril got around everything, because he was going to a vet.
Oh.
Yep, because they are actively taking the horse to the vet. All of it's negated. It doesn't matter, even though the vet sat there and said, this is refeeding syndrome. You can also, it is a very gray area. You can also say that Dawn is not in the veterinary field. She is ignorant. She does not know. Even though it is a quick Google search to get UC Davis refeeding program. She is not of the veterinary community. She's not even of the medical community. She is an actress, and that is
Damn good at it too.
And that
Hell,
is,
she's barely of the acting community.
I know, but taking your animal to the vet negates any of that.
She's a good con man.
But it doesn't stop her from
I'm
getting
about
more?
to get.
No, and it's sad. It's sad.
Sorry, guys. Really quick. I'm about to get really bad service because I'm almost to the barn and I got to unload this little turkey butt and put him in his blanket and back in his pasture. So if you guys are still alive when I'm done, I'll hop back on. But I've got to run.
Okay.
Be safe.
So I just point out one thing that too is that it's much harder to get something done for neglect. Abuse, if there's active abuse, especially witnesses, it's still not easy, but that's a much cleaner case. Neglect is very hard, if not impossible, to prove.
And pair that with crappy livestock laws.
Yeah, so let me give you an example. Laura had a boarder that was refusing to take care of animals, basically abandoned them on her property. She put a stable liens on. I took the two worst cases. One was immediately emaciated. She had rotting eyes in her head. When the necropsy was done, the vet of 30 years who had been doing necropsies for 20 had never seen anything like that in their lives. That was the worst case they ever seen. She had lost tons of weight while she was there. She had explosive diarrhea. Her heart was too big. Everything was shutting down. She needed, and she kept refusing vet care. Horses colic twice. She wouldn't even do anything about that. I took the stallion when I had the stallion gelted and his sheath came out. There was like over a ½ inch of smegma all up in there and clumped up in there, and there was maggots and open wounds.
That's that one I sent you a picture of, Rusty.
So then I filed a warrant against her. It took us 3 years to get her to court. And, or 4 years to get her to court. And though the DA agreed with me, the way that this law is written, because it says neglect or torture, torture is considered a actual physical act, doing something on purpose. I said, but those eyes were rotting. She knew, she had already seen a vet. She she was given medication. She never took care of it. It passed to the other eye. Having a horse rot, and he completely agreed with me, but he said it has to be a physical act of neglect or torture.
And I bet half the people here know who she is.
But Amy, isn't there a certain number of horses you're allowed to have at a rescue?
Nope.
No, why would there?
Well, I mean, if she already has too many, so I didn't know if there was like, okay, you have such amount of acres, you can have this amount of horses.
That would be on the state, but she's classified at having 162. But again, all right, let's take Stone Valley as a perfect example. She's up in Michigan. She has a small acreage. but she uses fosters all over the United States. So, I mean, she could have 400 under her care, but they're not all on her property.
Oh.
It would be up to if you have too many on, it would be up to that state or that county regulation. Like, and
that,
usually
and it's subjective. Like, you
Yes.
could have 3 acres in a 20-stall barn.
Most of them don't enforce it.
Yeah.
And even then, they're dumb. I'm sorry, 1 acre per horse is not enough. It's not. They say it is, and that's kind of the average of what they say. 1 acre per horse.
If you have I mean, if you're supplemental feeding and you have a barn well, or run into sheds or whatever, as long as you are supplementing feeding, 1 acre is rule of thumb.
Yeah.
I mean, but normal, I mean, so like ARM has 40 acres, only 30 acres in use for pasture. So technically, with the way the barns are, because she's got a shit ton of fucking stalls, almost 30 stalls. So technically, she could house 60 horses on that property comfortably. Not that she wants to, but
in the comments. I don't know if anyone wants to talk about
I don't know if Tara's here or not. I was just using that's I know that's how she does fosters. I don't know any other real. I don't pay attention too much to rescues. I just knew Tara does fosters. So,
Amy, I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
So we've been going through all of Dawn's lives and kind of nitpicking through them and seeing what other information we can glean off of them. In one of them, I found that she is using donated hay to feed not just the rescues, but her personal horses as well.
That is, well, okay, again, all right, it depends on what kind of contract she has written up, because a rescue, I mean, a rescue can free lease the property, but you should, because you are a corporation, you are a business, you need to have a lease. Now, if you have the agreement that the rescue must also supply as part of their rent so much, hay, whatever, then that would be fine. So, I mean, it depends on what the lead. Now, however, she's a squatter, so who knows? You are not supposed to, mix money, but we also don't know how she's paying for that hay for sure.
Right.
But she had.
Well, the hay that was delivered was specifically from the first hay daddy that she got, because she says in the video, this is the hay that was donated from our first hay daddy. And the first horses that we see come up and start eating that hay as it's placed, she explains, these are my personal horses. And I'm just curious to hear your take on the thought of how ethical is it for a rescue to mix personal horses with...
Okay. So again, it's going to depend on how she has the contracts written up. And also, did he donate it to the rescue and get a tax write-off? Or did he donate it to her personally? And then she would have to claim that as an income. If those bales were $30 a bale, then she has to claim that as income. No, the goats are not a rescue. Oh, did I do it? I'm sorry. Somebody just tried to come up and I hit it and then it disappeared. Guys, I'm not good with this.
Who left?
There she is. Okay. Maureen left. And Maureen left, and who else was in here that left?
Here, Claire left.
Claire left. I'm sorry.
Still here.
And then Bridget just left.
Belgians went to bed probably. I know she had to get to bed because she had to work.
Wasn't that who I was just talking to, though?
Yeah, but she could still hear you even if she left.
Oh, okay. Or she just might have got booted. Bad reception or
Yeah,
something that happens.
Bridget is good people. She is cool as hell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I go and I watch her lives, and I tap and tap.
The cats are fighting.
You're gonna get carpal tunnel.
Yeah. Well, I got you up to 10 grand, didn't I?
And then it wasn't, and then it was, and then it wasn't.
Oh, I know. It pissed me off because as much as I tapped on it, you should have had 15.
Jules, did you make the secondary account on the same device that you made the initial account on?
There's 100 people in here. We could get it because
If it was made on the same device, it won't work.
Oh.
Because it follows your IP address.
Oh.
You have to use a completely different
Crazy in
device.
here earlier, huh?
Jules is on her backup account.
Yep, they ban by IP, just like Facebook bans by IP.
Yeah, they used to not to, though. I wonder if you went in. Well, I don't know if you can. If you could go in. I mean, I know I can go into a computer and physically change my IP, but I don't know if you can do that on a phone.
You'd have to have a VPN on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think you could use another browser and you could go like incognito. That protects your browsing. So I think if you used a different browser on your phone and used
no, that incognito stuff is a lie.
Yes, it is.
Like Snapchat. Oh, it's gone. No, it's not.
It depends if you save it or not. It disappears.
The internet
after
is forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Google
incognito. It masks your ID, your IP address when you're visiting sites.
How many do you have, Jules?
She's only got like 70 something.
Oh, well, there's not enough in here to.
Yeah.
And I think
no, because remember Cade, he got enough, and on the other account he wasn't able to because he made it on the same device.
Oh.
I've tried to ignore T. T has made several burners. I don't know if this is true, but I have heard T has said on her lives that she makes burners to get me to talk about her so then she could bite back. She has insulted my profession, called me a sideliner. Just because I don't advertise everything that I do to the public, it doesn't mean that I'm not working on things, you know.
Well, I'm the one that, when you were doing your live on it, and Amy hadn't gotten involved yet, I went to Amy. I said, hey, shit's going down. You need to get over there.
But how long did it take? I mean, that, and I turned and asked Terry about that first too before I did it.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew. Nobody knows what I do behind the scene. I'm a behind scene. Now I am the mouth of the South. I will be a front runner when needed. Lord knows I've done enough for Laura when needed, and vice versa.
I don't want to say her name because I wasn't even speaking to her this evening and she started screaming about me. I was not rude. I was not addressing her in Jules's live. I was talking to Wendell and she started screeching and screaming, which is why I denied the request to join the live.
I hate that I missed it. I got there just in time to hear Jules go off.
I had a phone call. My kid called me. I go to pop back in, And I'm in the process of
because
coming up.
She started bitching about, oh, Amy left. She left. Da, 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 da.
I said I was getting a phone call. I'd be right back.
I didn't even address her. And then she started saying that we all called her a bad mother. And I said, that's funny because I didn't. And then she goes, not everything's about you. But then don't address us as a group. Say it with your chest and address Amy, because you sure ain't afraid to do it in videos where you two aren't face to face. Like, just fucking say it with your chest.
Listen, she might be little, but Amy's a scary ass little hobbit.
I wouldn't fuck with Amy. She is a master troll.
She sneezes like a full-grown elephant.
I can't deal with the yelling and screaming. The only time I screamed at her is when she said, you are not a vet. You are not a vet. I never claimed to be a vet, but I've been in the veterinary field a lot longer than that bitch has.
I'm not. I don't even have the certification you have, and I've got more experience than her.
How
could you?
I called it
a lot longer than someone who's never been in that field. That doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
I bet Vanessa's got more experience giving shots than her.
Vanessa's I mean, come on. Vanessa's got more experience than I do.
Vanessa's had her arm up a horse's ass.
Yep, I haven't had that pleasure.
I have worked in equine surgery. Do you know what I did the night Eros died? Because there wasn't a vet tech there. Hi, I had to work on my own dog.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn, girl, I'm sorry.
You know what? It's fine. I turned off the emotion because Rue was already upset. We did what we needed to do. We had to humanely euthanize, and I didn't let it go until we walked outside of that building. Then I literally howled like a fucking wolf in the parking lot because I was so upset.
And I'm proud of you for that, because you did what you needed to do, didn't let the emotion get in the way, got the fucking job done.
But that is why I'm so insulted when she screams at me. As like, to be an RVT where I live, you don't just graduate as an RVT. You have to take a test. You have to do continuing education. And you take that same education sitting next to veterinarians in the same fucking room. That's where I am upset by that, acting like I am some lesser person because I do the job I do. Do you know why I do the job I do? Why I'm self-employed? Do you know I made minimum wage on salary in equine surgery? And that is what a lot of vet clinics, not all, but a lot do to their registered veterinary technicians. And they wonder why we get burnt out or don't work in clinic. And that's exactly why.
Yeah, we have a girlfriend that
we all know you. We all know you make all your money on OnlyFans.
Am I? What's this?
You know, but that's okay, Rusty. I got back at her for us tonight because when she came in and started trying to talk, I just kept on saying, "I sure did, I sure did, I sure did." I wouldn't give her a chance to talk, so she knew what it felt like. And the entire time I thought about it, I was just thinking about that live with you and how she treated everybody in there.
And there's more, like, and this shit don't even have to do with what's going on with those horses. She was on a burner claiming that the goddamn Frisian thing that's going on is for me. It's not for me. It's for my wife. Why lie? I'm a stop.
And y'all had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, that was a bunch, I mean, that was a mess of us, but that had nothing, I mean, Rue didn't even want it for like 20 minutes.
Does somebody want to explain it to me? Because somebody said something to me about it, and I'm like, I have no freaking clue what you're talking about.
I
was going to ask Laura about it, and then I forgot because, so explain it for you.
So basically what happened is Cade found himself a new stud prospect here in Texas, and he was talking about it on live, and it turns out that the dam of this colt, essentially Rue had a lot to do with her dam. Like, when Rue was super involved in the Frisians, she was like, that was her favorite horse, and she dealt with this mare every day kind of deal. And she found out that this mare was a daughter of that dam that she was so close to, and just kind of broke down a little bit in a really emotional way. And so Cade and Laura and I and a couple of others kind of, first of all, in the comments, everybody was like, we got to buy her this horse. And so we kind of banged our heads together and started getting pledges. People wanted to pledge money towards it. And so we said, okay, well, email this email with your pledge information. Once we get to purchase price, we'll see what we can do. And so within 2 days, we had the money to buy this mare pledged. But it had nothing to do with Rue or Rusty except for they're good people. So we wanted to do something nice for them.
Not that this is any of my business, but somebody was asking me about it. So the mare isn't rideable and nor breedable, but you can get an embryo from it. Is that?
But sort of, kind of. Not for purchase price. For purchase price, she gets the mare. The mare's 21, so it's not like she's just on death's door.
For the purchase price, she gets retirement.
Yes, she gets retirement, and then there's potential for possibly getting an embryo down the road.
Okay.
But what's funny, Amy, is the woman who owns the mare currently is where my gypsy was bred.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. We have as we stand right now, because we wouldn't be breeding until 2025 anyway, like for an embryo, we have over a year to come up with that part. Over a year. And the only reason Rue and I were not getting a Frisian in 2024 is because our goal this year, it's not that we're destitute, it's not that we're broke. We were being adults and we were just going to pay my car off this year. That's the only reason why. I had even told them that we were looking at a breeder in Ohio.
Okay, Britt, thanks for coming.
But night, Britt. But these guys surprised us, and Rue is fine if it's a retirement home. If we can't get embryos from her, we can't get embryos from her. If not, she could be pretty and have pictures taken care of her and loved on. And
well, that's kind of one of the things, like, part of what stirred all of us was our hearts and everything. And Rue losing her passion in not just the horse side of things, but the photography side. I've known Rue's photography for 15 years.
Even me, without even realizing it.
Yep. Most people do not know Rue's face. They know her photos.
So one last question. Will this animal be able to be registered?
She is registered.
No, I meant the baby. Is the baby going to be registered?
So that's one of the caveats. Basically, the ET rights, the money that goes towards breeding rights on her will enable that to happen.
Yes, it will be a KFPS fauna or KFPS registered Frisian. It will be in the KFPS stud books if this happens.
Now, I don't remember who was asking me about it, so I gotta figure that out. But I think they might be in the live, so there's your answers.
Yeah, and it was all it was like
saying
the
is,
whole...
like, I hope it reawakens that passion that she had.
She just now, and we dated for a minute and then got married, but it's been 2.5 years. Yeah, I think. She just now started picking up her camera when we moved here. I traded a bunch of horse tack and stuff for a newer laptop for her so she could edit photos. and she got her camera out and was taking pictures of our girls out in the field. She's never done that other than from her iPhone, and she takes phenomenal iPhone photos. She's got an eye, she's got a talent, but she actually got her camera out. She was black, well, she still has the page, but it was Black Horse Photography. If you've seen the picture, the bowing Frisian with the flag on his shoulders, you have seen my wife's photography. If you have seen the Wikipedia Frisian photo, the photo that comes up, that is my wife's photo. If you have seen two very large Frisian stallions and sunflowers, you have seen my wife's photos. She used to do curings. She used to do gypsy cob shows, and so on and so forth. But she is most known for her Frisian photography, and she just kind of stopped when those bad things happened, and she had to leave that farm, and she had to leave her personal Frisian behind.
So explain why, because this was the part that I found really, really
disgusting.
Well, encouraging, honestly. Like, yeah, the reason why is disgusting, but the fact that everybody on that live heard that story and immediately was like, that's bullshit, and I want to help try to bring that love back to her.
So because she was gay and it wasn't a phase, she was told to leave. She did find a home for her saddlebred, and you've seen the lady in my lives, Krista Booth. She's very sweet. She took Eric, but she didn't have enough time to find a place for Hilka or to take Hilka, and she ran out of time, and Sherry would not let her take Hilka. So Sherry took very good care of Hilka. He lived to be 28. But Rue didn't get a halter. She didn't get tail hair. She didn't get shit. Nothing when he passed away. And she just...
And that's I think, the thing.
I don't get it. What does it matter who you sleep with? I don't understand it.
She's got...
Right?
When she did that photography, artists from all over the world would draw her horses. And we went through the house earlier today. But that is Hilka done in, it looks like colored pencil and watercolors.
I don't know, but if this fucker I sleep with doesn't stop snoring.
Hey, at least you don't have taters.
Hilka all over the house. And Rue is happy with her little black stock horse. You know, she's happy. She didn't have horses for some time.
She doesn't glow.
Yeah, she shined and lit up whenever we started talking Frisian. She was naming everything on that horse's papers, like correcting you.
Amy, she helped create that mare. Like, she helped get Mama and Daddy bred.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Kind of like me, when I see babies of Keystone Nordic,
Yep. So like when Cade popped up that all breed and it said Chima, whatever his fucking numbers are, and Teus, Rue immediately gets on her phone and starts showing Cade, because I mean this is good for Cade too. Right? Teus, right here. This mare looks just like her mother. Look at Teus. Look at all these pictures of Teus.
And just passionate in sharing that moment.
It was a good half hour of her just talking Frisians to us, and nobody was saying a word. And it was just, and she talked about Frisians the way I do about cow horses.
She made burners and said that the Frisian was for me, and I was begging for a Frisian for myself.
What did T do with what?
The Frisian thing.
Oh.
She said that I'm not a Frisian person. I think they're fucking pretty. I don't care to ride them because they move so big in the front end. I'm not into that. I like sitting on my horse and riding it without struggling profusely. It's a Rue thing. This ain't for me. This is a Rue thing.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to get me something, they can get me an ugly little blue roan Hancock bred mare.
I'm gonna get you a little yellow horse.
Hell no, I'm not ever gonna solicit people to get you a Hancock. I value your life too much.
Right?
I love me a Hancock horse. But me and Hancock
I
horses.
had a Grula Hancock.
We'll get
do
you a
know-
yellow Hancock
How
and
do
just.
I know it was her? Because then she said it was her on the burners. That's how I know.
Oh, what was
Yeah, she
that?
added
Yo
it
Mama's
something
mouth
about
or
it.
whatever?
Another burner. That's
So
That's how I know.
I know
Why don't you put it on
Howdy
your
Doody
real
was
account?
her. Mother's Mouth was her. She had
That's
she has
probably her.
She has Mare Stare. Yeah, I probably don't doubt that. And then the Mare Stare. Those are and I blocked all those, and just because I don't play the I'm gonna block you, but I'm gonna unblock you when you go live so I can come harass you game.
Amber, why don't you come in on your real account and say it with your chest?
Whole chest.
Whole chest.
What did I miss?
Just like when they tried to dox my name. That was fun. I was like, yeah, my name's Kristen. Oh no.
Well, that's
Or-
like, I never know what to call Rue because I know Rue's name.
I do too, and I just call her. I call her Rue anyway.
Because that's not her real name. She just goes by Rue. So Rue came from, do you remember on the old Cinderella with Gus and he couldn't say Lucifer and he went, Lucifer. That's where Rue came from.
Oh, shit. That's cute.
It's amazing that all these accounts that don't have pictures are all of a sudden running in here. Well, I mean,
You just click them. It's one person. That's, I mean, good for them.
I'm not that important.
It's ARM.
I'm not that important. That all these accounts are, unless if I might be on the For You page because we have 16,000 likes too, and they just may be clicking through.
They're following ARM.
But I'm not ARM. That's just it.
No.
Hey, JJ.
Welcome to the Riff Raff. She also has a cult named Rusty. Sounds about right. Thanks.
People, JJ, do you want to come up?
You're going to have a whole bunch of fabulousness up in here in the corner.
Well,
Hey, he's my kind of fabulous.
I
And
go
we
watch
can
some
talk
in other
pleasure
people's
horses.
lives. Oh, what did I miss? Yeah, she's got quite a few videos of me up. It's hilarious. I take up all. I should ask her if I need to pay her rent since I take up all that space in her head.
Oh, Lordy. I did. I've tried not to talk about her, and Rue gets pissed when we talk about her, and Rue would love to have a conversation with her.
Face to face.
I'm just, I don't know what to do, because
Well,
she is.
Though she's almost getting to the fangirl type stalking. I mean, she's been stalking me, but now it's like starting to get to the fangirl.
The bad thing is I desperately want to stop talking about her.
I know, but it's so much fun because it's shits and giggles because I know she's watching.
I just I'm going to throw you under the bus. Yeah, I sent you a picture of my dead dog because I figured you needed proof to prove that I wasn't lying about my dog. Was it tasteful? No. But was I really upset? Yeah.
Well, but she said you were lying, so you, again, and that's the type of thing.
And see, that's another thing. We're sitting there doing that, trying to do that for Rue, and in the middle of that, they had to leave to rush the dog to the vet.
Somebody, oh God,
Not
somebody
that it's
yesterday.
any of my business. Yeah, right, Candy. But what happened to that? I mean, what?
He bloated, and
Oh man.
I made over an hour drive in 45 minutes. I don't speed, but I was speeding. We caught it. We had him in the car within 10 minutes because he couldn't get up in the fucking car because he hurt. I rushed him. I knew it was bloat. So he yacked once in the kitchen, and I was like, oh, he ate it, because I was on live for that.
Yeah.
And then he left the room, and then he comes in here all panicked and starts throwing up, and I was like, I'll be right back. I went to the living room where he ran back to, and I watched him for less than 5 minutes, and I said, Rue, he's bloating. We have to go. And I came in here. I said, the dog is bloating. I have to go to the vet. They all yelled go as I was getting off the phone. I immediately got the dog in the car, rushed him to the vet, and I have money. I offered that vet money, and he looked at me, and he said, this is Sugar Creek Veterinary Clinic in Sugar Creek, Ohio. He said, as much as I could take several $1,000s, and I know you're trying to give it. He goes, I don't want to take your money for a dog, in my professional opinion, I don't think is going to make it through surgery, let alone off the table. So we opted to humane.
Twisting of the stomach.
Yep. Bloating, usually it's exercising really hard before or after drinking a lot of food or gorging food or water, but he didn't do that. Sometimes, unfortunately, it just happens in giant breed dogs. Sometimes there's literally no explanation. We'd been in the house forever when he just randomly, it just came up. He wasn't one to run around the house. But, is what I sent her very distasteful? It is. She didn't call me a liar, but I wasn't about to be made out to be a liar, and there's probably better things I could have done.
Somebody told me she did, but I mean, it's a he said, she said situation.
I mean, if she wants to call me a liar, cool, but she got a whole face full of dead dog picture. I don't care.
Listen, knee-jerk reactions happen, and
I was
fuck 'em.
upset. And I will be the first to admit it was very untasteful. I should not have sent her a picture of my dog that had passed away. I could have sent her a picture of the bill or otherwise.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I would have done the same thing, but I'm just a bitch like that.
I also confused somebody on our live the other day because we said Eros and Phantom were in the pantry.
Listen, when you pulled out those boxes to show us how they're going to be at the birthday party, that's my kind of shit right there.
Yep.
Put some fucking hats on those boxes and they will be at her birthday
now what
party.
happened to the second dog?
Eros was the second one. The first one I humanely euthanized because he had aggression due to dementia. And over the course of 5 days, he declined so bad he was trying to kill our other dogs. He still have a good night, Maureen. He still remembered who people were, and we opted to humanely euthanize while he still remembered who people were.
Yeah.
And before he killed one of our other dogs. Fortunately, the dog he was going after the most was Eros, and Eros was 8 inches taller than him. Eros was massive. He was almost 40 inches at the shoulder. That if he would have gotten a hold of Chicken or Voodoo, they would have been dead. Yeah. So we did. We tried. We actually got 3 dog trainers involved, and we knew he had dementia. I've known he had dementia for 2 years. The vet believes that when we moved here and they got more freedom than the little house and the tiny yard in town, it just kind of a snowball effect, too much freedom for a disease.
Yep, too much stimulation.
Yep. And he just lost his shit. He was getting to the point where we'd all be sitting on the couch and he'd be sleeping and he'd wake up growling and snarling at nothing. So we did. We did. We opted to humanely euthanize Eros. He was almost 10 years old. Eros.
That's a good age.
Yeah, that's a decent age, Dane. Now, Eros would have been 4 this summer. He was not a very old Dane. He was actually Chicken's dad.
Yeah.
That came out of left field. It was not expected, and we had every intention to pay for bloat surgery, but the intestines and stuff were already dying.
Good night, Dana.
So, good night, Dana.
Yeah, which I mean, that's about the age that it happens. I mean, they go into a growing spurt, and yeah, the room is all of a sudden there for that stomach to flip.
And when I say he was a big,
He was as big as Marta.
Yeah, I know. I saw the pictures of him.
yeah, he didn't have to, like, get up real tall to kiss our face. He just tilted his head up like that and he could kiss our face. He was built, I've got a really nice picture of him on Facebook that Rue took. He was extremely deep chested, more so than the girls. So.
Now, I don't want to continue the conversation if you don't want to.
You're good. I'm an open book. Am I still sad about my dogs? Absolutely. 2 dogs in 1 month fucking sucks.
Yeah. But is him being that much more in the chest, could that have been a contributing factor?
Oh, definitely. The deeper the chest, the more prone they are to bloat. If you have a Dane that has less of a tuck, it's going to be a lot different than the ones that are built like that. What do you want, Thomas? You're not going outside.
Speaking of which, where's Fukushima?
She was around here somewhere. She hides and skitters around. There's Thomas. You don't know where she is.
I hadn't seen my Fukushima in a hot minute.
No, Thomas. I'll see if she's in the living room. She tends to hide. I don't see her. Oh, that's Locust. 19 cats and counting.
Oh. I said 17, so you're adding to it.
He's going to wear as many as he feels like wearing.
Now, this is my last hat of the night, my new smoke show hat. Go listen to Kimberly Dunn. She's great.
No, you're not going outside. It's too dark. No, Thomas. Thomas?
He said, bitch, that's what I do. My best hunting.
I know, but I can't.
They have night vision. What are you talking about?
Right? Thomas,
he's got to go take care of your flesh pedestrians.
Rusty, he's your ESA flesh pedestrian. Let him outside. He'll be fine.
He showed up from the outside.
He did show up from the outside.
He showed up from the inside?
Look, the cats that we didn't know were not feral. The one night one was knocking on the window, and I'm like, oh, who are you? Just come in my house.
She did it all for the puffle. Yeah, the puffle.
Don't get Banamine.
I am singing a Limp Bizkit song, sir.
The algorithm don't care.
Yeah, you get Banamine.
So, how did Jules get Banamined?
Because
she lost her ever-loving shit.
She called a certain person an FB.
Oh,
Oh yeah, she did, didn't she?
She deserved it.
Beautiful.
And I freaking missed it because my kid called me.
I missed it because I wasn't going to listen to a certain someone screech like an unholy harpy.
Hey, don't talk about Amy like that.
Hey, but I did too. I gave it right back to her, didn't I?
Amy, what is the name of Marge's sister on fucking Simpsons?
Oh.
Now, listen, when Cade said that Amy and Terry were the twins from Simpsons.
Oh, God.
And then
Patty and
Cassie 2
Selma.
days later used that to try to insult me. So you know she was creeping that live.
I mean, she creeps every live you guys have, to be honest.
She did a video at me using that.
Did she?
Yes.
See, I don't watch her stuff.
That's
I'm not
why
giving
when
her
I
any
did my
fucking
morning
views.
coffee, that's why I did my morning coffee and I put that up and I did that is because she had used that and it was a stupid, and I don't even know what the video, I mean, I don't even, once I see him, I say something about it, I'm done
But
with
also, how come Jules only gets a 24-hour Banamine for that?
You got a
I
week.
get a 1 week.
It was probably Jules's first.
Yeah, first offense.
Yeah, because Jules hasn't shown inappropriate toys on lives yet.
That was only a 12-hour ban.
That was funny
Right.
as hell.
Yeah, each one will be longer until they poof you,
That's what she said.
right?
Working on getting your daughter's account banning me now.
She would be so mad at me.
Oh, thank you, whoever gave me a rose.
It's JJ.
Except she's got
It's
2 others.
JJ.
JJ's good people.
JJ gave me a
JJ's
rose.
sweet. I love JJ.
That was my first rose of the night that I know of, anyways. I don't think I've gotten anything tonight. I usually don't get much anyway, so and I always just send it back to other people. So
I'm bad. I don't pay attention to it.
I got Jules. I got Bell money.
Good
I
Christ!
tried to-
Earlier today, Rusty with the damn cup.
I can't believe
Anything I get gifted is just going to go to the Alzheimer's Association
JJ,
anyway.
thank you.
do I need to
JJ's
show my
really
cup?
sweet.
Oh, hold on. Did I get one too? I got it. My little
Yes,
count thing
you
went
got
up.
one from
Oh, thank you, JJ.
too.
Oh,
JJ's
Vanessa got
sweet.
some too. Don't go to
All
my
of that
account.
money is going to go
Vanessa.
to Alzheimer's Association.
Let's see, Maureen was up to 34 when she left, and now Rusty's like at 49.
Yeah,
Rusty. I have no idea what I have or it doesn't show
What are
me.
those? Like half a cent a piece or something?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that towards Vanessa's World Show Fund. All 4 cents.
Yeah,
I'll put
I think
mine
I have like
toward,
19 cents.
Care for the Dragon Mare.
I'll put
Oh,
mine
thank you,
towards
Jules.
paying the USD inspection fines I have.
So how many more
Cracker.
till I have to make a third? Should I just go ahead and make a third cup while I've got the program running?
Can I pay it next week for the third cup?
Girl, I got you. Like, I
By
know
the
where
way-
you live.
By the way, Laura, after that
Ma'am.
little entourage with that mayor situation, you owe me a damn cup.
So,
You're gonna have to be more specific.
when I went
Laura.
to go get that mayor,
Yeah, I'll make you a cup.
yeah, $30 in freaking gas and 3 hours on my way by the time I was done.
Yes, Ashley.
Yes, Ashley. So,
I need a cup for emotional distress.
I'm being found out.
Avalon, we have 5 people already for the 20 for cup number 3.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, so if it's running, I'll just go ahead and make another one.
Yep, it's running. We got the people's names on the list so far. Danny and Melby won. Omen drew Danny's name, and Crackers, I had to entice her with treats. And we're gonna have to do something a little different, like put a little bit of tape or
It's
something on their
okay,
muzzle,
Ashley. You're all right.
or make them bigger.
I'm a lot slow, so we're good.
Have you watched her walk? She's a lot slow. Or are we
Unless
talking
there's a
about
pig
between her
behind me.
ears?
If there's a pig behind me, this little fat bitch can run. I better watch her. I'm going to get
your
banned
favorite.
for calling myself names.
You have a good night,
I know
New
somebody that
Horizons.
happened to.
Y'all, I need to tell you something kind of wholesome. I'm going to be making my grandpa cry probably later this week because I have to go
I'm
out to.
I'm out. No wholesome content here.
Too bad, Wes. Deal with it.
Horse talk is not the place for that kind of stuff.
Deal with it, Wes. It's related to horse content anyway.
I think for
That's
cup
fair.
number 3, I'm gonna rewrite the names all big and like put them on a treat or something. All of them on like a treat, so it's easier to try to grab them
Oh,
out
well,
of the.
hopefully, well, maybe Steve will get you that spinner done.
See, this is my cup from her.
But I got a $18 cowboy hat and I got it blocked and cleaned at Boot Barn the other day, and I'm gonna be going out there and with my cowboy hat on and take my grandpa outside and play with that mare for a little bit.
Nice.
That's sweet.
Yeah. He's got the big dementia, and so.
That's rough, man. I've got too many people in my life who've been touched by that.
It's rough, and the thing is, with the way my grandpa is, we don't know how far it's progressing because he has memories that shouldn't be there. My partner's very recent. He was out this last Thanksgiving to meet my grandpa, and my grandpa, every time I'd talk to him and get on the phone with him, how's that boy of yours doing? And they're memories that shouldn't be sticking, but they are. So there's some suspicion that he might be playing up his diagnosis for his second wife.
Good night, Danny.
Good night, Danny. Thank you for coming.
So, but I figure,
that'll be
better to have the memories while he's capable.
Totally. One of my best friend's dads, and my best friend isn't even 30 yet. My best friend's dad has dementia, and it's wild. I haven't seen his dad in 5 years until probably 2 years ago. And I walked in and he said, "Hey, Wes." And I'll go up with my buddy to see him, and he's in an assisted memory care facility now. And whenever my buddy goes up there to see him, he thinks that my buddy's his dad. And
that's
my buddy just plays off it just because it is what it is. What are you going to do about it? And then I'll go up there with him and he'll be like, "Hey, good to see you." And he knows who I am. He called me Wes, 6 months ago when I went up there, but thought that Troy was his dad. It's a weird disease, man. It's a weird affliction.
It is, and according to the doctor, he's losing short-term rapidly, but again, he's managing to keep a hold of my boyfriend, so it's like...
Well, but to me, that's almost the same thing as with my buddy's dad and me. Like, I was never close to his dad. I wasn't even close to Troy until college, really. And the fact that he remembers me is just wild, because I knew him growing up, but not well.
I can place for the most part where he's at mentally, and it's in my early childhood when he still had his dairy. But then there's times where he slips into stuff that I was never around for, my dad's childhood and his own childhood with his siblings. So
yeah, it's rough.
It is.
Rusty, it's 17 hours past your bedtime.
I know, because I go to bed early because Rue does, but she told me to stay up tonight, and I stayed with Cade for a while, and then all of a sudden I caught Jules, Amy, T, and Wendell.
Did I see a Wendell?
Wendell was Maggie.
Ah.
The indiscriminate breeder that sold Tassie a horse.
But it's okay.
Because they're medicine hats. They don't need papers because they're medicine hat paints.
Oh
my God, I hate that.
I was in there when she was saying that she didn't need to test for
Framovera.
LWO.
She didn't even know what it was.
And I was just blinking, and then all of a sudden the shit hit the fan, and I'm like,
I'll be honest, I don't know what you're talking about.
We were talking about altering goats. And then it just went to shit.
Oh, yeah, you were in there too. I was like, because I was just lurking.
Yeah, we
were talking about altering goats and cows, and all of a sudden she comes in screeching like a banshee in the comments, and Jules, come on up, T. You got something to say. Oh, and
yeah,
and it's like that conversation was so 10 minutes ago, and we're moving on.
Yeah, we expressed some worry about a kid, and then we moved on to livestock.
Well, I did make a TikTok
Which,
about
if you
the
missed it this morning, Strongile and Cade had an awesome live.
It was great. It was really good.
Like,
I
I don't
did
know
miss
jack
it,
all about
sadly.
sheep and like this much about cows, and it was fabulous. I learned so much just listening to them.
So
I-
Rusty, what were you talking about? What? I don't know if I know what you were asking, Wendell, about the ovaric. What is that?
So frame overo is a blanket term for dozens of patterns. Anything other than Tobiano that's not an Appaloosa pattern is considered overo, whether it be frame, W20, W19, and splash, and so on. So I asked, since she is just letting these horses breed indiscriminately, if she tested them specifically for frame overo. If you breed two horses with frame overo together, you have a 25% chance of a dead foal.
Yeah, it's lethal white, isn't
Yes,
it?
that I did know. Okay.
So
So
that
it's like,
is why
yeah,
I
it's like
asked
two
that.
merles. You don't ever breed two merles.
So
Okay.
goes, I don't even know what frame overo is. That answered my question.
No. Time out. She didn't say that. She said, well, he's a Palomino Overo.
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? Yes, I have an Overo. He's a Palomino Overo. That's what she said. And I was like,
Hey, Amy, you want to watch
Can I get
Rusty?
this person's name so I can block them?
Maggie Wendell.
Okay, thank you.
You want to
It's
watch
a
Rusty
wonderful
glow like
life,
Brew
Amy.
did? Ask her about color genetics.
Oh, I love listening to Rusty talk about color genetics.
What was it I told Strongjaw this morning? I love it when you talk nerdy to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, my plan is to get my Dragon Mare's papers, or at least a copy of the papers, so that I can, post a picture of them and then send them to Wes and Ranchi and go, hey, is this worth even trying to get an embryo out of? Because I know
going
next
to
to nothing
almost
about quarter
tell you.
horses.
I'm going to tell you that the answer is probably no.
I'm okay with that. If it's not worth it, it's not worth it. But
Well,
I'd
the
rather
nice
have
thing
the
is-
answer.
Well, yeah, Jules, they were all in there. I watched the whole gang come flying in there right before my kid called, and I'm like, shit.
And I wasn't rude. I wasn't nasty. All I did was say, "Do you test those horses that you let breed for frame overo?" And
Good night, JJ.
she didn't understand the question, and then she goes, "Who is this basic white butch even?" And
Somebody smarter than you.
I was very polite, and it was a legitimate question because a lot of people don't realize you can have a solid horse with frame overo. Guess how I know? I own one.
Well, I had a solid Grulu Appaloosa, so.
Yep. So frame usually doesn't show up without a supporting white pattern. And the reason I tested Crackers is because her mom was frame and splash. So she had a 50-50 chance of being frame. And I just ran a white panel. And she carries frame overo and no other white pattern. She doesn't have a weird blaze, a blue eye to possibly give it away. She's just brown-eyed, bay done, no white, frame overo.
Dosha, like the first time I ever heard Rusty say that, something like just clicked in my head and it made sense.
So yeah, that was something I was confused about. Thank you for bringing that up.
Right.
How is it if she has all these paints, there's a gray, a flea bitten at that?
So gray is just a depigmentation disease. Gray exists, and her paints aren't paints; they're pintos. She doesn't actually have registered stock, so she has pinto horses. Gray exists in most breeds.
Right, but I was just saying,
One of the parents had to be gray. Period.
Yeah, one of the parents for that.
So all of hers are not colored horses. There's got to be something in there that
they can be.
You can have a pinto that's gray. You can.
Because it can be born a bay and white paint with gray that then turns into a gray and white paint.
Okay, so like Eli, he was born the spottiest, ugliest freaking mule I've ever seen, and by the time I got to him,
that was probably LP on him, with him being half out.
Okay.
Oh, wait, is that where that gray creature came from? Was that other woman?
Yes. I love how T said I didn't know he was. Wait a minute. The way she talked, he was registered. Is he not registered?
I don't think anything on that place is registered.
Oh, then why do they have this long freaking name for it?
Now, they could have Pinto papers or Bashker Curly of the Americas ponies.
I doubt these people, the way they talk and the way they post on Facebook, I don't think they even know what papers are.
Well, I mean, he's got 3 freaking names. Why would you name a horse 3 freaking names if it's not a registered name?
What names
some
does he
people
have?
are bougie like that.
All I heard was Corona and
Coggins.
Now, I did meet a lady, Amy. You remember that one lady? I asked if that horse was registered. She's like, "Yeah, I got his papers at the vet last year."
Yes.
Question:
that's Coggins.
When she was talking about names, did she say Corona and Seattle?
Yes.
Because he doesn't have a bunch of names. His name was Corona whenever Tassie bought him, and she changed it to Seattle. He only has a barn name, from what I can tell.
Oh, see, you talk names like that, I automatically think they're a registered animal.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, Tassie just changed his name.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I don't think anything on there has
and
papers.
don't forget that there's 400 acres there. Yeah, and because land in Texas is freaking cheap in a lot of areas.
Where they're at, it's not.
Oh, okay.
But here's the kicker. When she started talking about he's never had to have his feet done, it's sandy here. I'm like, well, just because they wear it down doesn't mean they're correct. Are you a friggin' moron? I can walk barefoot all day. Doesn't mean my feet are healthy.
I wanted to say that so bad because my husband does farrier work.
Like, that's the stupidest effing thing I ever heard in my life.
Now, I have had horses.
I mean,
my Belgian.
Well, Corona is also a beer, and they're that close to the border, right?
They're probably 3 hours from it.
My Belgian only needed her feet done legit 4 times a year because they were slow growing and even wearing. But even then, she still got her feet done 4 times a year.
4 times a year versus 0 times in 5 years.
I had a mare that I owned her for 10 years, and not once did she get her feet done. Number one, wasn't nobody touching them. Number 2, she kept a good foot.
All I know is somebody is about to get fired by another farrier.
Not me. I just have to use a secondary.
No, not you.
Mine's in Jackson right now at Dixie's.
My farrier.
He needs to come up here. Did you ever talk to him about him coming up here?
No.
You said you were
probably forgot that conversation.
Yeah, we need to find that out because I really don't want to use the one down the road.
Same with me. We just moved.
The only one that comes here is the one that I used over there when I had him at the boarding facility. That was trained by Tom, and I'm sorry, she's not worth $65 for just taking the walls off and knocking the frog.
Yeah, Jesse was paying $125 for a natural barefoot trim.
Yeah, because you see, they're in Birmingham area. That it's a specialty, and it's like, no, that just means you don't.
I'm like, Jesse, are you retarded?
I know exactly who she's talking about because he came when I had Metzger's. Kat had him come out one time, and it's an absolute shit show. He gets out the little sander and he buffs all this up, and it's like, why are you taking off the front of the wall like that all the way up to the coronary band?
So they can split easier.
Huh?
So they can split easier.
right?
They got to come back out for another $125.
Yeah.
And that was Apache that had the waffle feet and a double sole. Yeah. Dude.
Well, Whitney, the other thing is that hoof wall grows a lot slower when it's cold. Like I do 8 weeks usually during winter, which for us lasts about a month, 2 months. And then like when it's warm, the wall grows, wall, sole, and frog all grow more. And so I cut back to 6 weeks, and that's just about right for everything.
And I also think it has a lot to do too with how much exercise they're getting. Like my guys
That's
don't
very
grow that
true.
fast because they're just pasture pets.
Yeah.
Well,
You
like if it
stimulate
weren't
that
for the
frog.
fact that Prada's got baby sliders on, she'd go every 8 weeks.
I mean, when I was at Metcalf's, we were doing like 5 weeks for everything.
One dog at one door, one dog at the other door. Why can't you use the back door?
Y'all, I need a new bit.
She said,
Fuck you both. God, I hate my dogs.
Why did Amber go away when I told her to come in on her real account and say it with her whole chest?
I wonder.
What did
because
she even
she's
say?
flat
I
chested,
completely missed
but
it. I completely even missed what they said. Whatever she said.
How do I know that it was Tassie? Because she eventually admitted it. Like,
Well,
That
that
was
was
the
Amber. I mean, and how would she even know what the fuck we were talking about if it wasn't Tassie?
I don't know.
That's the one that she came on the live on her account afterwards and screamed
wasn't
for
that
4
your
hours.
mama's mouth or whatever?
Yeah, your mama's mouth. I got that one blocked. I got howdy doody blocked. Oh, is she? Okay, well, whatever. I don't care.
Amber, talk to me. You wanted to talk before. I'm not being mean to you. I'm just saying, if you're going to come in here on a burner, at least build up your burner stuff and just come in on your regular account and say it with your fucking chest. Like, that's one thing I won't do. I'll eventually block someone if they're irritating the piss out of me, but I don't need to hide behind burners.
I got something to say. I say it to your face.
Whole
hold on.
chest.
I can't get the list to pull
highly
up.
doubt that. I didn't say that you were her, but you're clearly a burner. It's obvious when I click on you. Oh, look at that. But just say shit with your chest. It's not that hard. Come in on your real account. It's not that hard.
Amber H, like Heard?
I mean, I didn't realize that, my lives were that stimulating that people that.
Wrong account, Amy. Wrong account.
What?
That's your OnlyFans.
Ain't nobody wants to see any of that either. I'm too old and fat.
Hey, don't kink shame.
I'm quite round. But do you know how many straight women would pay to see me sit in my undies eating a can of SpaghettiOs?
What is the girl's name? The very large lesbian that's on TikTok.
Did you just raise your hand?
She's really tall. No, she's
really like 6'4". I
Sorry.
fucking
I thought
love
you
her.
raised your hand when she said that. I was like, what is going on?
She's really tall.
She's like 6'4". She was displaying height, not saying it was her.
Now that my sperm donor's dead, I could probably do an OnlyFans and not have to worry about it.
Jesus Christ. This went south real fast.
Have you been anywhere near Amy?
Yeah, shit. I don't think Amy was the one that drove the car there.
Watch poor Maureen get roped into making a basic white butch calendar.
Bitch, when you pulled your shirt up and slapped your belly, it made me fucking cackle.
Who did we just lose?
That's a good question. Who did we just lose?
Who'd we lose?
Not GNS.
I'm here.
It was that Lindsay Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we lost Lindsay. I'm sorry, Lindsay.
Lindsay was the one that what's the Stone Mountains Ray of Hope? That's her.
Is that
Yeah,
Lindsay?
she wants to come to the farm up there, which Jules is coming to visit, so maybe I'll have her come at the same time.
When do I get to
Good
come and visit?
Christ. I'm staying my ass at home.
Oh, come on up with us. Terry will be in New York, so.
Oh, so we get free reign of the place?
Uh-huh.
I want to come visit.
Wes, where the property that Terry bought is where my final notice used to stand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's a nice place, I'll bet.
When Laura owned it. I see
That
you,
is so wrong on so many levels, at least where my mind went.
Wait, what happened?
Hey, I see your camel toe.
Oh no, I gotta put
Don't
it
be
away.
raising shit that'll get Vanessa banned.
It's a
Don't you
camel
think that I'm
toe.
cool?
It's a legit camel toe.
God.
TikTok can't say anything.
You got a moose knuckle?
Well, look at the comments, she said. Noble Heart did.
Oh, I saw Docha's comment. Yeah, no, I'm full, thank God. I don't need to take the riffraff anymore.
I can't send you anything from here?
That Philly
It did
bites.
better
I'll
than
take
the
something
last
from
one you
you.
sent to Texas.
That Philly bites me again. I'm just gonna have the dentist take out the rest of her incisors.
Well, we're
Amy,
hoping...
I'd take something from you just out of pure curiosity.
At least mine will come with ground manners.
I've ridden one Arabian in my life, and it was kind of
no,
fun.
I don't have Arabians.
Oh, okay, what do you have?
Let's see, right now, currently...
And several assholes.
Let's see, there's a Tennessee Walker, there's a quarter horse... Oh, I can send you tea.
What's tea?
He'd actually like tea.
Yes, he would. I bet you'd want to keep them, too.
No, he
What's
wouldn't.
tea?
He doesn't want anything.
No, I don't want to own anything.
So,
Okay, now that there's fewer people in here, who all here knows
I'm trying to
Mirror
answer him.
Watchers?
What?
The knockoff of Mirror Stare.
Pasatino, Tennessee Walker, Mule, Donkey, Quarter Horse, Evil Demon Pony.
I'm out on that one.
So's my husband. My husband's threatening me on him.
I heard him threaten you the other day. What did he say if he does that one more time?
No, he was probably talking about Littlefoot then.
No, he
No,
was
he was talking about the pony.
He doesn't give it. I mean, cows are going to get out. That he knows, but no, he can't walk in there without him turning around to double barrel him, and that would take his kneecaps out. So
Walk tall and carry a big stick.
he does. You do. You have to go in there with a whip.
But what's this quarter horse you got?
Which one? Okay, so all right. Well, T is what? 10 now? 11? 12?
I have to look.
T is what? 10 now? 11? 12?
I have to look. I can send you his pedigree.
What's the cyst?
I do need to get a chiropractor to check his hip again to see if it got fixed. But he's a nice little quarter horse. Here, actually, I will, if I can get my green screen to work right. Oh no, I figured out how to do it earlier. Enhance. I don't want enhance though. I want effects, and then I go to dare, and then I do.
Well, anyway, if anybody is familiar with Mare Watchers, the knockoff of Mare Stare, whose code was stolen from Melanie by one Angel Brainard. She's the one who abandoned that horse at those horses at my house that had that stud sheath looking like it did.
Is that a goat?
What in the fuck? Your mama.
There's the front of it.
Sounds like
And
Friday
then-
night at Texas Tech over there.
And then there's the little demon child too.
Roll Tide.
Let's see. How do I do this to make myself?
You just get out of frame.
No, I want to do the framing things where I can make myself.
That's throwing me off so
Oh,
bad.
you can't.
I do it.
You
at the
gotta
grocery
go. I
store.
think click your little thing, and then it should have something kind of at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I gotta play in this thing again. Settings. No, that's not it.
So I like to do that at the grocery store because people are really confused when I do that.
That's pretty convincing. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I'll be in like the
We had
meat aisle
goats
and
for
I'm
a
like,
decade. We had goats for a decade, and I heard that, and I got PTSD for a second.
sometimes
I got one for you.
Look, sometimes I go up to Rue and I'm like,
But anyways, there's his head, and then the demon child, and
yeah, that was me making that noise. Yeah.
let's see if I can find any more. Oh, that's
How's he bred?
You have to ask her if she has the papers.
Yeah, I gotta find what his
wait a
name
minute.
was.
How's he bred, Vanessa?
I want to say his name is I'm a making tirage.
Sounds like some pleasure bullshit.
That's
No,
the real pleasure
he was a
bred.
color
Yeah,
breeder.
it is.
He's a champagne
is.
buckskin.
Yeah.
I'm a pleasure. What?
No, he's.
I'm a
It's
Mirage.
I'm a making tirage or something.
I thought it was in Mirage or something.
No. Making tirades? Let me try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found him. He's on All Breed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put him on, or no, somebody, I didn't put him on because I
She
don't have
put him
stuff.
on there. There.
Oh,
yeah.
he's not pleasure. He is foundation, like real foundation.
Yeah. And he's a really nice looking animal.
He's
He
skip a
wasn't
breath on
stallion
the top,
material,
as your
but-
T. Real foundation-y. But the bottom side is pretty cut and bred.
He's not little. I mean, he's not huge, but he's not like cutting horse little.
So his grandsire on his dam side won a little bit of money in the cutting in the 70s and the 80s. Had offspring who earned 57 grand. But he's a California horse too, because he won at the Pacific Coast Cutting Horse Association. And back then, not a lot of guys were hauling from other than California.
Cassie's in here on a burner. She's making
Oh.
videos.
Oh, I'm sure she is. Like I care.
Here's my hell bitch.
I can't turn this damn green screen off now.
His dam is gorgeous. Lilac Ice. What did Lilac Ice do?
She was a champagne.
Exported to Sweden.
Huh?
The year, if he's 10. So was he imported or did they get semen shipped from overseas?
The dam was probably imported.
Because his sire is a 2006 that was exported to Sweden in 2010. And in 2014 was the European champion sire. And showed, well, basically only showed buckskin, IBHA and ABRA. Oh, he must have gotten shipped back then, because if he was exported in 2018 or 2010 and... Oh, sire. Okay, so he had somebody here breeding his semen, because he had a lot of American and international buckskin champions that he sired.
Must suck living in town with nothing to do. Repeatedly, you're gonna leave your and you just need a couple acres of land for your horses. Oh, but
And I know people who have had too many spirits can ride them.
Wes, I sent you a couple pictures of him.
I'm jumping to the Book of Faces.
They're shit photos, but
Have you seen everything I post on my socials?
I cannot wait for Vanessa to tell you how she broke your cult apart on 4-H rules.
Yeah, 4-H rules are judge and halter.
Mm-mm. It's supposed to be true confirmation.
But true confirmation is not functional confirmation is the problem.
Oh no, she got through telling me, and I'm like, well, you got to tell Wes that because you just tore that poor little piece of shit apart.
She held his sickle hawks against him, didn't she?
She said he was cowhawk, pigeon-toed, weak through the top line, weak through the barrel. His neck was too short, and his angles were too sharp.
His neck's a tick short. His angles are not too sharp. They're functional. And he's not cowhawked at all. I don't know how you could tell that from that picture, even.
I'm just telling you what she told me. I'm like, damn, if you're going to talk about his horse like that, you got to tell him.
No, you can't tell cowhawks from that angle.
like I said,
I want to see a picture of him squared up. That dropped hip was throwing me off.
Yeah, he was playing with his lead rope trying to untie himself. After he got done, he got bored playing with the goat.
But he's cute. I don't hate him.
He is, dude, you need to see the video I got of him today. Holy crap, he's a talented little prick. I got on my computer to try to edit it, but I need a new computer. This processor is too slow for my editing software, and I don't have enough RAM, and I can't upgrade to enough RAM. So I'm going to have to edit it on my phone, which is somehow more powerful than my computer.
So, I tell you what you need to do. You need to get your brother to go get a HP Omen gaming laptop from Rent-A-Center.
My brother?
Just shush. And then he needs to move and not tell Rent-A-Center that he moved and sell it to your sister for $300.
I take it that's how you got yours.
I can neither confirm nor deny this.
I'd rather just buy one. But I don't use mine for really a whole lot.
I don't either. Chris is so mad at me that I waste this computer. Like, it's hardcore gaming laptop.
It's so much easier for me to edit stuff on my phone. The only thing is I can't be as precise with where I drag things.
You're so fine. You're so fine. You do.
I might cut together some video of him working today, but like 6 months in, this thing
that one isn't freaking. Love that name. Like, that isn't obvious. Oh, not that one. The one before it. I can't imagine having such low self-esteem that you have to stop people and worry about what they're saying.
Why don't you screen record this? She must like heavy set chicks.
Well, I mean, I couldn't imagine living my life having to stop
Rusty,
people
when's your birthday?
Oh,
My birthday's in October. Do you think
Damn it, I'm older than you.
Do you think she maybe picked up a little bit of, the legitimatequa in prison?
The legitimatequa?
Yeah, in prison.
Yeah. Maybe I remind her of her prison mama.
Oh my God, Amy!
Rusty.
What?
Check the group chat.
Yes, sir.
Wait, which group chat?
The other group chat.
Damn it.
The secret group chat.
It's not really a secret.
No, it's the worst kept secret in the world.
I can't wait to have more people watch me drink coffee and take a piss than,
Or shart yourself again.
There was 250 people here for that.
Oh, sweet. I was wearing my bucket hat when she was recording. Dope.
I wonder if
was she really?
Yeah.
Do you think, honestly, let me ask an honest question, because I've never been to, prison. Do you think some Oranges the New Black shit went down, and that's why she's so angry about the legitimaquas?
Listen.
Well, my husband is a corrections officer. So
if there's
I
Ruby
know what
Roses
goes on
in there, I'll go to prison.
My nickname used to be Big Red, so.
I've only been to jail twice.
I've never been to any of them.
What did you call me, Big Boo from Orange is the New Black? Because I'm heavy set and I got tattoos.
And the haircut.
No, which is the black guy that works as the short order cook?
Oh, Lafayette.
Yes.
Who ordered a burger with AIDS?
I got your AIDS for you. Everything in here comes with AIDS.
What did he say? A certain slur has been milking your cows, plowing your fields.
I bet she's got a hell of a prison pocket. I meant Lafayette. Record this.
Prison pocket. Some people call that a pink sock. Oh.
Listen. Never mind.
So, fun fact, the other night at work, my husband, he works at a prison. He legit watched a guy shit on a piece of bread and put another piece of bread on top of it and eat it in front of him.
Ew. And is that the same as feeding your cows their own warts?
Probably.
And then the same guy proceeded to smear himself in his own shit just because they were having to go in there and do a cell extraction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Amy, I have to send you this. Hold on, where'd you go? You have to cackle on live.
Let me see.
It's so fucking bad.
Fuck me.
Well, we definitely missed an inside joke.
No, it's not. It's really fucking funny, but I can't say it in here.
Why would you?
Politically, like I don't care where you stand politically, it's still fucking funny. So I'll send it in hours.
It's not the Taylor Swift KFC pack, is it?
No. I can already hear Wes say, "Jesus Christ." There.
Oh, God.
I don't care where you stand politically. That shit's fucking funny.
And what's sad is, I mean, it could actually be said in here, but yet it can't.
Hey, Amy, can you make a poll?
That's a dark joke.
but
Hold
I'm
on,
not.
Whitney. I'll send it to you.
It was bad.
It's so bad, it's good.
Oh
Oh,
Lord.
it was
I wanna
real bad.
sing.
Like
I feel
real
like
with
I'm missing
multiple
out.
L's.
I've got you on my other page.
I can't remember who I have on my face. I have so many people from here that, but I can't remember real names to who.
Amy, read the comments.
Oh God.
And I care why. I mean,
Why you don't like arms? Do they not use enough lube? They make obese sleeves.
I have a bunch in my car.
So quit trying to get yourself banned.
she doesn't like arm because of me, but yet I have fucking nothing to do with arm, and she can't get that through her freaking. I guess I don't know how many more different ways to say it. I mean, are all the filters that she used get in the way that she can't get it to filter into her brain? I know she's recording it. I don't care if she's
no
recording
filter because it ain't
it. I
gonna
mean,
help
that
this.
says more about her character and her insecurities than it does anything else. I mean, because she runs her mouth about all of us, other places. So why is it not okay? I mean, she talks about all of us, but God forbid nobody can talk about her because she's this perfect little thing. But she's the one that started this war, and it's one that she'll never win because she came up against the wrong bitch. I'm not the one to fuck with. Of course, it's because I stand up to her, because I don't tolerate bullies. And I'm too old and too fat and too ornery to ever be intimidated by that little Texas twit.
You pronounced it wrong. There's an A in there somewhere.
Yeah, well. I'm glad she's
Is it
owning her
before
name, though.
Or after,
I mean,
when it comes after a C?
I don't. You're asking the dyslexic how to break down the English language.
I'm watching Wes try to figure out the joke.
They didn't teach us that in A&M.
Oh, I didn't pay attention.
Well,
Wes!
I'm a misogynist, so I honestly couldn't tell you how
Technically,
to do
Mel, there are no sides. She's the one that made sides. There are no sides. There's only one thing: to care about what happens to the horses.
And I don't.
Period. No matter whose care they're under.
You look like you need like a red bandana and a bottle of salsa.
Hey, Rusty, your crease is wrong, and your mustache looks like what mine looked like in when I was 20 and couldn't grow one yet.
You know what? Go be a misogynist.
Apparently, I already am.
You're just trying to turn him into a LGBTQ.
That's a lot of letters. I don't want to have to spell.
Plus, plus.
Wait, we got another plus on there now?
I think so.
I have not kept up to date, apparently.
Rusty! Help somebody out.
I'm terrified what filter she's going to come back with.
Oh, she's just horny.
Well, she got that Fleeman response going.
What did you just say?
I like that twist on that horn you got there.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to bounce for the night. I have to get up early. Y'all have a good night.
Be good, Wasteland. Take care of yourself.
I just call her wasted as a wasteland. Dyslexia strikes again.
Ooh, what's my next horse show? I should probably know that.
Rusty. Huh? The fuck was that? You can't be flashing pussies at people.
Hey, y'all, question.
I could really screw her up by setting my account to private. Then only my friends.
Oh, look, she's just a single bagger. Better than a double bagger.
Is that a tea bag or just a regular bag? All right, who's requesting now? Whitney. Come on down. You're next on The Price is Right. If I can get this thing to go. There we go.
Rusty.
Oh, no, not Whitney. We're letting a woman up here now? What is the woman coming to?
No.
Just one plus still? Oh!